The college football experience week 14 reaction episode and coaching hire news on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog's hooking up new customers. Yes. Play $5, get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code. That is TCE SGPN. So do that. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Brian Bosworth, a.k.a. The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Week 14 reaction episode and coaching news episode. All that coming together as one. YouTube.com/the college experience. Jump on over there. Hit that like and subscribe button. Be a part of something. Don't be sitting over there all negative. Be a part of something. Hit that like and subscribe button. There is so much to talk about. Shout out to the chat. And yeah, we have a lot to unpack on this episode. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Shout out to the great GBO Farms. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it, buddy. I respect you too much. To talk about that scent of piss. All right. Hope you're good, brother. I am joined by my co-host who has been lobbying with myself for that scent of piss to take home the fucking Heisman Trophy here. Give it up for the host of the college basketball experience as well. Former staffer at Austin Peay with the Governors, South Carolina with the Gamecocks, and West Virginia with the Mountaineers. Ryan McIntyre, aka Monetline Mac. What's up, man?
Quiet day in college football, right?
I got it. I mean, I'm like a race car out of red, dude. All right.
You can play my music first.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, you've gathered your thoughts.
We're contractually obligated to play that.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
Let's get to the news. YouTube.com/college experience. We got a slideshow and everything. Big news is that Lane Kiffin is LSU's next head coach in the middle of a 11-1 Ole Miss season. I think I have so much to unpack here. I'm disappointed in the state of college football. I'm disappointed in Lane Kiffin. I'm disappointed in I just don't think it's a good spot. I don't think it's a good spot for anything for what is this supposed to be about? You know what I mean? Like, I think he's a selfish prick, to tell you the truth, man. And I never met him a day in my life. He was friends with Mike Leach, was a friend of ours. I think he's completely selfish. I think he's, I'm dumbfounded that he would. I mean, I kind of sensed this was coming, but I just still think, like, why would you ever want to play for this guy? Why would it, like, because of a better opportunity came? A better opportunity couldn't have came next year. Florida State's going to be open probably next year, I would imagine. Michigan could be open. NC State, where his dad coached at, could be open. and so on and so on and so on. I mean, there's a million jobs could be open. USC could be open. Obviously, that would be the one I guess he wouldn't go back to. But there's a lot of other ones. Washington could be open if Fish left. Miami could be open. Who knows? With Cristobal had a bad year if he doesn't make the CFP this year. I'm sick of the narrative of like this isn't on Lane. This is a broken system. Okay, yeah, it is a broken system. Sure. The portal being I don't agree with the portal being in January. I think it makes more sense to be in April. But I still think like you are who you are. You know what I mean? You are who you are. You preach commitment to your team like every coach does. At least for that season these days. And I think it's cheap what he's doing. I lost respect for him. And, on the other side of things, I also think LSU, I don't think you got a better football coach than what you previously had. So Lane Kiffin to me and Ole Miss, they had a great season this year. They had a great season last year, but I also think the schedules were incredibly kind to them those 2 years. I don't know that it means this isn't going to be more of Brian Kelly at 9-3. Or you get up for the occasional 10-win season or whatever, and the SEC is going to a 9-game conference schedule next year. Good luck. I'm curious your thoughts on Lane Kiffin to LSU.
Yeah, I mean, what wild shit. I mean, I am a Lane Kiffin fan. I don't agree with what he did. I would have stayed at Ole Miss.
At least for one more year. If you want to leave, I just think you got something special, right? Like you got something special this year that you can conquer.
Yeah, I would have finished it out. But I guess he feels like he maximized what he's got there, and he's jumping to LSU. But I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to coach in the playoffs and then potentially win a national championship. But I will say with Lane, like I know this is I see both sides, but Lane did significantly elevate this program. I mean, 3 straight double-digit win seasons, 4 out of 5, 55-19 in 6 years. Ole Miss sucked when he got there.
Is that worth it when you make the playoffs for the first time ever?
No, see,
and he ditches.
That's where, I think he puts him in a better position going forward because they're out of the doormat now. I mean, they were in the basement when he got there, but I think he should have stayed at Ole Miss, see if he could have went on a run, been the greatest coach potentially in Ole Miss history, rather than potentially just another guy at LSU. That was my whole thing. But there's also other elements to this, like kind of just digging more and more. His daughter is dating one of the LSU football players. I mean, that's that's really gonna last. No, probably not. But he's been on record over and over saying early in his career that he fucked up his whole family life because he prioritized the job. So now, I feel like he's overcompensating to the other side, and he just wants his family to be happy. So, but I don't think he should have taken the job. I think he should have stayed at Ole Miss. I think we forget Lane's only 50. He's been a head coach since 31. I feel like he's been a head coach for 20 years because he has been, but he's only 50. So I think he's just entering his prime, and I actually think he's going to do really well at LSU. I think he's going to win a national championship at LSU, to be honest.
Really?
I think he's a really good coach. I think he's gotten better and better. And the narrative that everybody talks about Steve Sarkisian, the best play caller in the game, I think it's this guy. I think this guy's way better than Sarkisian.
I do too, but I also think he's one of the guys that you could say hit a triple. What the Jim Harbaugh comment? I mean, his dad was kind of gave him opportunities. Yeah, I don't know. I think he'll be fired by LSU in the next 5 years, because I think you're entering LSU has unrealistic expectations because of their 20-year history prior. You're going to a 9-game conference schedule. I don't believe Ole Miss actually was even this year. Could they still win the Natty? Sure. You're in the playoffs. The difference between teams, I think, is not as big. But I don't know that those teams were as good as we're led on to believe. I thought they had very kind schedules both years. So Yeah, I mean, maybe it works out. I mean, LSU's got a ton of money. Another thing is like, I mean, do you think Lane Kiffin's a better head coach than Brian Kelly? Because I don't know. I could see this. I could say he might fit in more in Baton Rouge than Brian Kelly, but I think Brian Kelly's a better football coach than Lane Kiffin.
X's and O's probably. Well, I don't know. I mean, Lane's a pretty fucking good offensive mind, man. I mean, he's worked for three of the best defensive minds in the history of the game. His dad, Monty Kiffin, the Tampa 2, Pete Carroll, who's won a Natty and a Super Bowl, and then Nick Saban, who everybody calls the GOAT. So, like, he's been around elite football coaches, and his career kind of is chopped up into two. It's the young Lane Kiffin, the Raiders, Tennessee, USC, and then it kind of reset when he went to USC and then FAU to Ole Miss. I thought he's gotten better and better. I used to think he was overrated, but what he did last year with Chambliss, having the balls to bench Simmons for the 5-star kid for Chambliss over here, Trinidad Chambliss coming over from Ferris State after he had to replace Jackson Dart. Like, I thought what he did this last year was an unbelievable coaching job. I thought it was one of the best coaching jobs in the whole country. The only game they lost was Georgia, a game that they fucking led in Athens by 9 midway through the fourth quarter. So,
no, I mean, I'll say he did a very good job this year. No, but I also believe the schedule was awesome this year. In fact, like they beat LSU and Vaught Hemingway by 5. I think that is the only team with a winning record they beat besides Oklahoma. Oklahoma, yeah. Oklahoma, Oklahoma and LSU. They have 2
and Tulane. They beat Tulane too.
Yeah,
breaks off Tulane. Like they weren't
kind of
expected this year.
Sure,
they weren't a fraud this year.
Well, no, they could win the Natty, but I'm just saying, like, when I previewed this team, you were with me. We previewed Ole Miss, and I said, man, that schedule's genius, right? That schedule's genius, right? And to his credit, he was able to take advantage of that schedule. Now, beating Oklahoma at Oklahoma, I definitely did not think would happen. So credit to him there. But I thought they could get LSU and Tulane in Vaught Hemingway, right? I thought they were capable of that. So to me, the only 2 games that I had them losing, if memory serves me correct on the preview, was at Georgia and at Oklahoma, and potentially the Egg Bowl, maybe just because it's the Egg Bowl. But yeah, I mean, look, he did do a great job this year. I just think beware what you wish for, because first you're going to a 9-game conference schedule.
Mm-hmm.
LSU schedules aggressively in the non-con historically. This year you had Georgia State, Washington State, the Citadel, and Tulane, right? I just think we'll see, because LSU fans are fucking insane. So you had a great thing.
Yes.
We'll see. I'm looking at, so I'm loading up LSU's schedule next year, and they open the season at home with Clemson.
Yep.
Who's losing a lot. So you should be able to get that one, but who knows what the portal will bring in. We don't have dates on the rest of the schedules, but their road trips are at Arkansas, at Auburn, at Kentucky, at Ole Miss, and at Tennessee. Yeah, obviously at Ole Miss is now fireworks. But I'll say this, one thing that jumps out to me right now is 4 of those 5 road games. And wait, is that?
Well, and there's 5 of them. And the Ole Miss game will get all the headlines, rightfully so. That'll be like when Beard in college basketball went back to Lubbock, or Ed Cooley went back to Providence. But ask GBO Farms in the chat. Those Tennessee fans fucking hate Lane Kiffin for the shit he pulled after 1 year, 15 years ago. I mean, they were throwing mustard bottles at him, batteries at him last time. This is only his second time going back. So you not only have the Oxford return trip, but you have the second trip back in Knoxville. So this schedule is beautiful.
Well, actually, I was going to say 4 of the 5 are against first-year coaches on the road. So you got to like that. Then their home schedule is home to McNeese, Clemson, Alabama, Mississippi State, Texas, Texas A&M. But I'm just saying right there, Texas, Texas A&M, Bama. Those 3 right there. Obviously, they could beat 1, 2, maybe even all of them, right? I just see, when I look at that schedule, I'm like, give me 9-3. Probably right? I don't even know the roster. I'm just saying, okay, I think it's a little harder than this year's Ole Miss schedule, right? I think it's a little harder than this year's Ole Miss schedule. I'll say that I feel pretty confident with that statement. So we'll see how it works. I mean, I just think he makes it selfish and about him, dude. And I think it's a damn shame to the roster, the people of Oxford, Mississippi. And now the news out of Oxford is that they're going with Pete Golding, their defensive coordinator, who was previously the defensive coordinator at Alabama and some of Saban's final years there. I don't even know how to grade this right now because I think Ole Miss is in such a delicate spot where, because a bunch of the offensive staff is going with Kiffin to LSU. And dude, I mean, should they even be in the playoffs? I don't know how to.
I think
I mean, record wise, they have to be. But I'm saying if your whole entire offensive staff, or a good chunk of it, is gone, how the fuck do you evaluate that if you're on the committee? Because I mean, if they evaluated Florida State not having their starting 2 quarterbacks, right, and keeping them out of the playoffs, I would think this would be a little more substantial than that.
Yeah. Well, like you said, most importantly, they're losing Lane Kiffin, who's and
Charlie Weiss Jr., their OC, with them. Like,
yeah,
and they're putting a coach that's never been a fucking head coach.
Yeah, like they should be in because of their resume, but like they penalized Florida State 2 years ago. What are they going to do with Ole Miss?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel really bad for the people of Oxford. You've been waiting your whole life for a season like this. You get this season. I just can't believe that I just can't believe it. I can't. I mean, I kind of suspected this was happening, but then I thought, you know, maybe he would come to his conscious of like, dude, this is a special year. You know,
But wasn't it always going to end this way? It always ends dirty or messy with Lane. Like, there's no way it was going to be fucking clean and pretty for Lane going out.
And then I'll go back to the third baseline by Harbaugh, even though it was directed towards Ryan Day. I think that continuously goes for that. Like, this speaks of him kind of being a spoiled dude who got the advantages of all that. You know what I mean? Oregon State went to hire Brent Vegan this year, right? Montana State's head coach. Shout out to Patty C giving us $10. I'm assuming that's another Patty C. You buying us a beer, buddy? Shout out to Patty C. So Brent Vegan was all ready for the Oregon State job, allegedly. They had offered him the job, but he did not want to leave his Montana State team in the playoffs. And they're like, no, we need you to leave now. And Vegan's like, that I can't do that. I respect him so much for that, because in this day and age, I feel like we're losing sight of, like, you're supposed to like, what's the point of all this? You're still a fucking millionaire, man. Like, how much is enough? Right?
Well, is it a coincidence? I don't know his wife, but his wife and him split like around 2016, 2017. He hit rock bottom in the coaching career, got fired for USC on the tarmac. Everybody knows that story. Rebuilds himself, goes to FAU, goes to Ole Miss. She comes back in, and they're rumored to be back together this last year. And all of a sudden, it feels like deja vu all over again. So, you know, sometimes you got to dig a little bit on some of these layers. I mean, you got the daughter with the LSU guy. You got his wife. He's back in the picture all of a sudden. It's undefeated. It's undefeated. Landry Kiffin's going to be the GM of LSU next year. She's going to be calling all the shots like Jordan.
If I was Ole Miss, I would have hired Brian Kelly personally. But I mean, Brian Kelly he won 10 games year 1, 10 games year 2, 9 wins year 3.
Yeah.
And then fired at 5-3. So he could have done 10-3 as well, or at least 9-4. Beware what you wish for. I just say that I don't see him killing it there, and I don't think he'll win a national championship at LSU. Just going to go out on a limb and say that. I think it's a different era of college sports over the past 5 years. If Orgeron was back at LSU, I would say he was not going to win a natty either, right? And same with Les Miles, and same with Saban. Yeah,
we should hire Coach O. Bring him back.
Well, that's the great thing is that Kiffin was the head coach at USC, just like Orgeron.
Yeah,
the head coach of Ole Miss, just like Orgeron. The head coach of LSU, just like Orgeron. Unbelievable.
And Orgeron was on his staff in Tennessee and USC.
Unbelievable. So hold on. So Pete Golding, see, I kind of want to shit on this because this isn't an interim base. I think it's moving forward. He's their head coach. It's a tricky spot because you might have been forced to make him your head coach. This might be like a Zach Arnett situation, completely different scenario, but you still have a chance to win a national championship. You want someone on the staff. And if he's saying, guys, I'm out of here, LSU's offering more money unless you make me a head coach. Then you're kind of stuck in a spot. You're like, I can't blame Ole Miss. My first reaction would be like, oh man, they're going to pay for this hiring. And then I'm like, wait a second, but what are you supposed to do? You're thinking you're going to be in this 12-team playoff. This is all just terrible for the sport, by the way. This is all terrible for the fucking sport. I defend college football at almost all cost against the NFL or whatever. I think I think college football in general is the greatest sport in America, but it's hard to justify this shit. I think this is terrible for the fucking sport, and it makes you want to. I love how the FCS guy turned down it, but the SEC guy, no. Where the SEC guy is just completely much richer than the FCS coach.
The egos, man. The egos.
Yeah. So, I mean, I question the hire long term, but I'm not going to give it a bad grade because I don't think you are in a really, really tough scenario. I think we've never seen that before, ever in the history of the sport. So, if so, it was on the D2 or D3 level, but I don't think that ever happened because I don't think your incentive would be, hey, I'm going to do this. What do you make of Ole Miss getting Pete Golding?
I think their hands were tied, and they feel like this is the best move that they could have made. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done long term. He's doesn't have any head coaching experience. He is a Saban guy as well, coming over. He was there for 4 years, so had a lot of success and experience here in the SEC over the last decade. But it's different when you're the man in charge of college football playoff team. This isn't
he's gonna have what, 3 weeks?
Yeah, he's just like, hey, here you go. Yeah, like I think we've seen it sometimes when they rush it to bat for the players. It doesn't. You may get a jolt of energy early, like they may win the first playoff game, like just a get up emotional spot, and then maybe next year they're okay, but then gradually they keep taking a step back because they're farther removed from Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. Shout out to Nick in the chat. The whole operation is insane. They already had the photos on the website. Wow.
I told you, GM Landry Kiffin. Lane's daughters run the fucking show over there. She's got everything going.
Shout out to Danny Dumbshit, Long Beach State to have a meeting considering reinstating football as they should. I saw UC Santa Barbara's did the same, and I think it moved forward. I wish him the best, man. I think that'd be the best story if Ole Miss. I really want Ole Miss to win the national championship, but we'll see. I just think it's terrible for the sport. Imagine, Bill Parcells or Phil Jackson or something, Belichick with the Patriots. Right, you get to the playoffs. Hey guys, it's been a fun season. I know we got the 1 seed, but gonna go over here and take this other job. Go leave for the Cleveland Browns. I think it doesn't stop there, guys. Florida hired Jon Sumrall today, and it's unclear whether he will be with Tulane moving forward. He'll be with them for the conference championship game next week.
Hilarious.
I mean, dude, this shit is terrible for the sport. They got to fix this, man.
Is Eric Morris coaching beyond Friday too?
I think they said that, right? Or I double check that if you don't mind. I thought they said something like that. Florida hires Jon Sumrall. Florida fans are going irate, I know, because they took a shot on a former Sun Belt Group of 5 coach from Louisiana and Billy Napier, and now they're doing the same with because Sumrall was at Troy. I know he was at Tulane for 2 years, but I kind of feel like he inherited Willie Fritz's glory. He didn't recruit Darian Mensah, even though he was only there 1 year. They hired Jon Sumrall, who I don't love the hire. I think I'm intrigued. I don't love the hire though.
It feels like they're going to be more of the same because Sumrall from a record standpoint is really good at 42-11, but when you unpack it, he took over programs that were winning in each. He did a good job of maintaining success. I'll give him credit on that.
But if I'm going to be honest, I don't think Tulane was as good as I thought they would be this year.
Yeah, even though they made the championship, but
like it was just like the ECU game. A lot of those games they didn't look great. They got very fortunate to beat Army. Now I'm not saying that doesn't mean like I think he was worthy of a shot. I just think for Florida, you fired Napier for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might as well just ran it back with Napier.
Yeah, I that's what I now because Florida's schedule is a lot easier next year than it was this year or last year. So Sumrall is going to look like a genius, I think, first year, just considering the schedule's easier. But I don't know. I don't love the hire. I'm not going to say it's a bad hire. I will say one of these ones I think is a bad hire.
Yes.
It's not right here. Yeah.
We're going to agree on that one. I'm with you. What would you give it? A C? C minus?
Yeah. I mean, look, I could see him winning there, and where like I like him as a coach. I like him, but I just wish we would have got a bigger sample size. Because to me, I don't know that I think he was able to sustain Tulane being good, but Tulane I think spends the second most in that conference. So I think a lot of coaches could have done that, right? So it's like how much, and a lot of those guys, like I said, he didn't recruit Mensa. That was a Willie Fritz recruit. You know what I mean? So it's like and then last year you were able to get the kid from BYU because of because some girl ate his ass, right? And right. I mean, so okay. Like you didn't do a bad job, but I don't know that it was a grand slam. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was a home run.
We don't have a sample size of him elevating a program.
Yes.
We have him sustaining it. So
yes.
At Florida now, if he sustains it, the Dan Mullen era is what I'm looking at. 7-8 wins. Like they're not going to suck. You're not going to see it bottom out like it did this year, but like I think they'll be around a 7 in a good year, 8-4. But like I don't see them competing for a national championship like the Florida fans unrealistically believe they should be.
Daniel in the chat, wouldn't you rather hire Fritz 1,000,000%? But I don't think Fritz would have I'm not sure he would have taken it because he's at a different point in his life. I think he's in his early 60s. I mean, maybe the offer's good enough, but some of these coaches, I think it matters when you catch them. Jon Sumrall, I think had ambition to be an SEC head coach, so more power to the guy. But I would say, yeah, I mean, I think Willie Fritz is a better head coach than Jon Sumrall without question. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't think it's I don't think it's like I don't know that if you're a Florida fan, you should be that excited. I guess you be excited that you got new hope because every coach brings new hope. Every new coach does. So, okay. Next up, we have the team that they're playing in the AAC Championship, North Texas.
Your whole league got rated.
I just think it's bad for the sport, the timing of all this, man. I don't think this is a good thing for the sport. Is Morris staying throughout? Did you get a chance to look at that?
They say for the foreseeable future. So what does that mean?
I thought I read an article. I might have been 12 drinks deep, but I thought I read an article saying he is down for if they make the playoffs, he's staying the course.
Yeah.
Which I commend him then. Now, Kiffin wanted to do this, right? But I think it's a little different. LSU is a rival of Ole Miss. The Magnolia Bowl is a fucking thing.
Yeah.
At Oklahoma State, North Texas, your players will leave it anyway.
Yep.
So I think it's a different scenario than that. But yeah, I mean, I also could see North Texas being like, hey, fuck you. Let's get a trial run of our assistant coach and see if he can be a head coach if we make the playoffs. I can understand that. I would, if it were me in charge, I would probably do that. Right? I would say, look, maybe you coach the championship game, but I don't want you around here after that because I don't know how much time you're dedicating to North Texas when you're the sitting head coach of Oklahoma State. You know what I mean? And I'd rather take a shot on someone on my staff that I know would jump at the opportunity to see if he could become the head coach. It's an audition. Right? I I don't know about this hire either, man. I like Eric Morris because he's a Mike Leach guy. I'm a Mike Leach guy.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, the guy had one good season.
Yeah.
And he did it with Sam Houston State's defense coming in. Now, maybe he's smart enough to do that. So credit to him. Maybe he could do that again in Stillwater. But I got concerns, man. I don't know that this hire will work.
The one thing that I do like is that he's like from the old school Big 12 air raid. So he's got familiarity in the league, playing at Texas Tech, working for Leach, being a Texas Tech guy, and also working at Houston as well. But I'm with you. He was on the hot seat going into this year.
Yeah,
he went from the hot seat to a Big 12 job. So I don't know. Maybe he catches lightning in a bottle. He's got his hands full on the rebuild job. I don't know how much money they got there. We kind of saw it, even though Gundy probably just refused to use it because he hated it. But I would have liked to see a bigger sample size with Sumrall. And Eric Morris didn't take over a dumpster fire at North Texas.
Well, and another thing is North Texas's schedule. If you go back to our preview, very, very Ole Miss like, where we highlighted, I was like, this schedule's genius.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'll tell you this. If you're asking me so far, I would take the Sumrall gig at Florida over this one, right?
There's a lot of variance with this one. Like
yeah.
the floor can fall out on this one.
Oh,
There's
a
lot of cha-cha-cha. If he doesn't get the dudes in Stillwater, then they could just get their ass kicked in a physical Big 12 now.
And I think we got to throw the Pete Golding thing out. I don't think that's fair to grade considering the scenario.
Yeah, we have no idea.
So Kiffin to LSU, I think he'll keep the train going at 8-4, 9-3, 10-2. They'll make the playoffs some years, but I also think, in my opinion, I think they got worse as a head coach today than they did yesterday with Brian Kelly, that is. But I do think he fits Baton Rouge a little bit better, so maybe that will work out.
And he fits the times, the portal, and then more than Kelly.
But so like to me, I would say Sumrall, okay. Kiffin, I guess, okay. The timing terrible though. I'm rooting against him. And this one being questionable, the Golding one somewhat questionable, but you had to do something. Then, oh my God,
I can't believe
Satterfield 2.0 here. This one blew my fucking mind today. So Arkansas hires Ryan Silverfield from Memphis. Memphis was going to fire him. Remember what happened with Scott Satterfield at Louisville? Louisville wanted to get rid of him. They wanted to get rid of him, but they're like, fuck, we're locked into this contract. Right? And all of a sudden Cincinnati comes in and goes, I think it was $10 million to buy you out. Yeah. Well, the same happened right here. I think Memphis owed him $6 million. Arkansas comes in and takes what they basically wanted to get rid of. Let me tell you about Ryan Silverfield, guys.
They finished 6th place this year.
Oh, dude. They first off, they have the number one budget in the group of 5, right? How about this? Ready for this? He's 3-12 against teams above 500 on the road. He's 12-20 against teams above 500. 0 AAC title game appearances in 6 seasons, despite having the biggest budget. Went 4-4 in AAC play with losses to UAB, ECU, Navy, and Tulane. I mean,
they beat Arkansas this year.
luckily, like Arkansas was at the 4-yard line and fumbled. This is your worst hiring so far this season. This one,
Petrino.
I'd say Pittman and Petrino way better to me. Like way better hires to me. They could have. I could. One phone call, and here's the best part: is Hunter Yurchek is the head of the committee.
We're fucked.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this 12-team playoff if this guy's making calls like this.
You fucking idiot.
Memphis fans were rejoicing. I know. Shout out to our boy TJ. He's a big Memphis fan. He texted me, "Fuck yes."
This is unbelievable. This hire. By the way, they should have just hired Gruden. At least Gruden would have brought some juice to the fucking place.
I would have kept Petrino. I would have hired Gruden. I would have hired Orgeron. I would have gone and hired. I would have waited. You could have got Jonathan Smith today. You could I'll go on and on and on about who the fuck you could have. You could have got Bob Chesney, Jason Eck, Sean Lewis, Brent Vegan. You can go to the FCS ranks. I love that Lehigh coach. I forget Cahill, I think his name is. You could go on and on and on about. Even coordinators. Will Stein from Oregon. You could. There's Colin Klein from A&M. This one is unbelievable to me, and it's a damn shame because when I first got into college football, like Arkansas was like a really respectable program. You go back, I talk about this a lot, from 1954. And that's not when I first got into college football, believe it or not. But they went to the Cotton Bowl in 54. They had one losing season in Frank Broyles' first year in 58. But after that, they had a winning season almost every single season except one, all the way until 1990. Then in 1990, they had a new coach, went 3-8, right? But like this program was like a powerhouse, dude.
Yeah.
For a lot of it's unbelievable what they've turned into.
Would you have hired Jeff Traylor over him? I know UTSA has had a bad year this year, but he's one of their own. He went there.
Without question. I would have hired Gus Malzahn over him. I would have hired
I can't believe that they hired Silverfield and
Jim Mora. Jim Mora would have been a much better
Chesney.
Yeah, Chesney, no brainer. I would have called Willie Fritz. I would have called I'm probably forgetting.
Bundy.
I would have called Leipold. I would,
goddamn, how do you make this move? He was at Memphis for 6 seasons, did not make it to one AAC title game, and he's
they lost to UAB.
He lost to UAB, and he got blown out by Navy in the last game. Let
me tell you this: if you hire a coach from a sitting other team, like Tulane fans are probably sitting there saying, "Damn, Sumrall's gone." Now, not that much, I don't think, because they had Fritz before.
Yeah.
North Texas fans are probably like, that is bitter that Eric Morris left. He had us on the right track, right? Golesh at South Florida. I think they're devastated.
Yeah.
If they're rejoicing, that's not a good sign.
No.
All right.
You're not seeing the Ole Miss reactions in Memphis right now.
Unbelievable. Unfucking believable that I feel sorry for Razorback fans. And I love how their basketball coach is a Memphis guy.
I know.
Football coach is a Memphis guy. Hilarious. We also got other news. Auburn hires Alex Golesh. This is the one I trust most so far out of all the ones, minus Kiffin, because I think Kiffin, you know what you're going to get. But I do think, remember, you're going to a 9-game conference schedule, so I don't think Kiffin wins a natty at LSU if I had to bet. But Golesh, I think, is the most qualified to me of all of the AAC hires. He's the most qualified to me, without question to me. Because like I said, South Florida was a dump. When he inherited that from Jeff Scott, it was a dump. Now, are you surrounded by great talent? Sure. But I buy into the culture that he set. I think this is one where you look at the coaching tree with Heupel at Tennessee, with Matt Campbell at Iowa State. I'm buying in. I think this is the one. And if you go back when they hired Strip Club Freeze, I was a skeptic of that. This is the one. I think they got their guy. I think this is the one where I'm like, okay, I'll buy stock that this can work. Now it is Auburn. Once again, crazy expectations, but I think those expectations have been tamed a little bit over the past couple of hires. So I think he will look good and get a longer leash than those two. But good hire to me. This is the most qualified one. This is the one Florida should have gotten, in my opinion. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and it's kind of mind-blowing that Florida didn't pull the trigger on Golesh when he beat Florida this year.
And he's right down the road. He's tied into recruiting. I mean,
yeah,
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I like this one too. Golesh has elevated the program. They were 4-30 in the 3 years prior to when he got there. And then he wins 7 games, and they elevate to 9 games. And they didn't have a cupcake fucking schedule. I mean, 9-3 with their schedule was really like 10-2 or 11-1 with the schedule that they played. So great hire by Auburn here. I also think his kind of gimmicky offense, the tempo and coming from Heupel fits Auburn. We've seen it work under Malzahn there where they get to a natty, Chizik and company, that era. So I think that this is a really good marriage here. And I think he's going to get Auburn back to being competitive with Alabama to a certain degree. And I also think him watching Heupel rebuild Tennessee for those 2 years as his offensive coordinator really helps as well. So he's seen a
and
program
getting Matt Campbell and Matt Campbell when he came into Iowa State. So
yeah, this is I'm a big fan of this. This is by far my favorite AAC American, whatever their fucking league's called, that's jumping up to the SEC since they're all jumping up to the SEC.
Well, I mean, no, even including Morris going to the Big 12.
Yeah.
Like I still think this one is the one I trust more. Shout out to Donaldson, by the way. I didn't mean to ignore your comment. Thanks for the $20. We're living in a world where Ole Miss is now innocent, ethical victim. What a time to be alive. Yeah. I just feel sorry for their fan base, man. We know the administration scumbags, but historically. But Gilles, I think I like. We'll talk more in a second. I want to let you know that the college football experience is brought to you by us. We are part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Gear up for the holidays at the SGPN merch store. We got the perfect gift for the DGen in your life with the promo code HOLIDAY for 25% off everything. Yes, even these fire DGen only hats. So jump on over there. We got everything. Pick Dundee t-shirts, promo code HOLIDAY, 25% off. Remember, as always, to let it ride. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig's America's #1 sports prediction market. With Novig, you are getting the best prices. Novig's available in 35 plus different states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code. That is SGPN. So get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you could win up to 5,000 times the amount of money you enter. I play it all the time for college hoops and college football. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers as well. Play $5, get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code. That is TCESGPN. So do that and let it ride. Chad's cracking me up. Yeah, I like the Alex Golesh hire, man. I like it, and I'm excited about the possibilities there. I'm gonna cut in for a second here. Well, I made this slide before this news came out.
Stoops.
Yeah, hang on. Let me share the screen here. And I made this while I was talking because I'm a genius. All right. Stoops fired by Kentucky. The problem here is Sumrall's a Kentucky guy.
I know it.
Idiots. I know the people, the internet's speculating. This is fresh, by the way. This is, I think, happened like 15 minutes ago. Okay. Hey, Kentucky. Hey, Arkansas. You could have hired Mark Stoops.
No kidding.
Can you go get him now? I mean, look, the minute that he landed in College Station on the plane, and then he was coming back, that shit wasn't gonna work out, man. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't think it was gonna work out at that point. He was great for their program at the time.
He did a good job, all things.
I honestly think like he should be a football coach somewhere else.
Yeah.
So now I hear Dan Mullen talk already ramping up to Kentucky. I was hearing it at Memphis before, but where did the Cats turn, man?
I mean, I would go all in on Bob Chesney with JMU. Harrisonburg's not that too far. I mean, what he's done at JMU for 2 years has been great. He was great at Holy Cross, and all the JMU guys do is win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you think they'll call Mullen? Would you be happy if Mullen ended up at Kentucky if you're a Wildcat fan?
I'd be happy. I mean, Mullen was good at Florida. Mullen won eight games at Florida. It got to an SEC championship, and they just, for whatever reason, got impatient with him. So yeah, I think Mullen would be good. I think Chesney would be good. I know Neil Brown's name will be thrown around there because he's an alum as well, a former coordinator for Stoops. But I don't know, that wouldn't excite me if I was Kentucky.
Well, you're a little late to the game, Kentucky.
Yeah, I know. Should have just waited a year.
I mean, I get it. You want to strike, like, you just lost that bad. You got to sell seats next year. Like, there's angles to this, but I just about Jimbo Fisher.
Hilarious hire. John Gruden. Gruden could be in play here.
I'd be intrigued. I'll tell you this: like Gruden, if you told me Gruden to Arkansas, it would have me more intrigued than Silverfield. Silverfield, I'm like, nah, he'll be fired in the next 3 years.
Yeah,
like I feel very confident with that statement.
Gruden would bring a level of energy and pop, where that would make Kentucky football exciting and must watch right away.
Silverfield is like Chad Morris all over again.
Shit, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah. So yeah, just got news on that. So Stoops, I wonder if Stoops can find himself. See, what I find interesting right now is, call me crazy, I think the SEC is becoming like, I think the other conferences are catching up because your coaches, I don't love this coaching hire cycle. Like moving forward, Golding at Ole Miss. Now maybe that works out. I'm a little unknown on, like, we've never seen him be a head coach. So, but I don't love a lot of these other ones. Gilles at Auburn, I do like, but Silverfield, we'll see where Kentucky goes. I feel like they're a little behind everybody. I'm not sold on Sumrall to Florida. And Golding to Ole Miss. I can't say I'm thrilled about that. So we'll see. We'll see, man. I think one of the things that made the SEC so great, besides cheating, was that they were able to hire really good coaches. It's like the Big 12. The Big 12 in basketball was a very shitty conference for a long time, right? I remember it because I am a Colorado Buffalo fan. So growing up, like, they were a terrible team, and the conference wasn't very good. Besides Kansas and like Oklahoma, there was not a very good basketball conference. And they hired a bunch of really good coaches, and they changed the narrative over, like a 5-year stretch. And I think that led to, like, I think if you ask most college basketball people who the best conference is, they think the Big 12 is the best conference, right? So that led to the narrative. Now, sure, football's a little different because you had you're buying players and stuff, but I still think, like, when seeing Franklin go to the ACC and stuff. Now, seeing Norvell and Florida State double down on him,
and then miss
right? Yeah. I mean, that was a little puzzling. But I'm just saying, if some of these other really good coaches, like if Brian Kelly ends up in the Big 10 or Big 12 or ACC, I think he's a good football coach. So I think maybe he never wins the national championship. I would tend to bet on that, but I think he's a very good football coach, and I think the conference is probably worse off. Before, you had a conference with Lane Kiffin and Brian Kelly. Now you're gambling a little bit on some of these young guys. We'll see. I don't know that they're worthy of that.
Would Brian Kelly take the Kentucky job?
He might. I don't know that they'd be thrilled. I think he'd be a Northeast. Like my first thought with Brian Kelly was Michigan State, but we'll get to them in a second. But
yeah.
Is
that Cincinnati? He's at Notre Dame. I mean, Cincinnati's right down the road from.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm Kentucky's athletic director, I would definitely make the phone call.
Yeah,
definitely make the phone call. So news out of Lexington, just 15 minutes ago. Going back to the next coaching hire that happened, Jonathan Smith got fired. Oh, for Michigan State. I think this is ridiculous to fire him after 2 years, but
yeah.
I guess you can blame this on Kurt Cignetti by him being that good in 2 years. I did think this was a weird fit when, I'm a big Jonathan Smith fan. I think the guy can coach football. A lot of the reason why I think he's a really good football coach is what he did at Oregon State was a complete dumpster fire when he took it over. But also before that, when he was at Washington and Boise State. And how about this? He was with Chris Peterson. When he left Washington with Chris Peterson, in my opinion, Washington was never the same. So I thought that tied back to Jonathan Smith. I think he's a very good football coach. If I'm UCLA, he's from Pasadena. I understand it wasn't working out. He's a West Coast guy that was out in the the Midwest, and it didn't look good 2 years in. I'll tell you, I think he deserved a third year personally, but if I'm UCLA, this is your guy. This is your fucking guy. Now, he is from Pasadena, so he probably wants it at the Rose Bowl. So I don't know how that works, but your thoughts on Jonathan Smith being fired from Michigan State?
Yeah, I mean, will UCLA hire a guy that's maybe not as sexy a name like in Jonathan Smith? I don't know. He got screwed. He should have got at least a third year. He took over a fucking dump.
Yeah, and they have like recruiting violations going against them. They have a bunch of other shit from the Mel Tuckers.
Fucking dumbass Mel Tucker.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a Mountain West or Pac-12 job that opens up, I'd call Jonathan Smith too. I mean, Wyoming comes to mind.
Dude, honestly, I even thought UConn should call him. I was like, Mora was a West Coast guy before that too. Mora played at Washington. I think he coached at Washington. He was at UCLA. I know he was in the NFL with the Seahawks and the Falcons, but he was traditionally a West Coast guy. He grew up on the West Coast.
Yep.
This is one where I would say, if you're UConn, you're looking to find your next Mora, that might be your guy.
Could be.
I don't know that he would take it though.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. He probably wants to get back out west.
Well, and they gave him his buyout's like I think like $35 million. So it's like, you don't need to be in a rush. Surprised at that news, and also the news that they're hiring Pat Fitzgerald.
2 hours later.
I mean, I'm a big Pat Fitzgerald guy. Now, I will say this. Surprise was Michigan State.
Has Michigan State turned into Northwestern, though, in the new Big Ten?
Yeah, but I just, here's the thing with Fitz that I'm wondering about. I'm a big fan of Pat Fitzgerald. I feel like we were one of the only podcasts defending him. We had no proof. This is America. You should be innocent until proven guilty. And the whole world wanted to shit on him. And I thought it was ridiculous because no one knew anything, right? And it turns out that he was proven to be innocent. It should be a lesson because I thought we've done this with a few people. But I'm glad to see he's back coaching. One other thing I'll say, though, and maybe it was Northwestern because Michigan State has way more money. His offenses were not very prolific.
No.
His defenses were legit. That's something to monitor there because if you're Michigan State, to me, you should have good offensive players. You've whether it was Le'Veon Bell or Andre Rison or Plaxico Burress or Derek Mason, you should be having a very good offensive roster. At least talent wise. You don't have to be running the fucking air raid or anything. That's what I'm going to be intrigued to see. I think Fitzgerald is he's a guy that I love as a dog, hate as a favorite traditionally, right?
Cosign.
That's why I'm actually I'm not going to say I love the hire for Michigan State because Michigan State has a shit ton of money. So I'm I think he's a good football coach and he'll get you bowling, but will he get you back to where you were? That I don't know.
I think it's a good hire for where they're at right now. I think it's a really good hire because they've been shit for now, 4 years because of Mel Tucker. So I think he can bring back of what they were under D'Antoni, hard nose, beat you up at the line of scrimmage, grind games out, and get back to playing that physical brand of football, especially when it gets cold in October and November in East Lansing. So
and he gets to play Northwestern. Fucking great.
Sticking up those fucking bitches' ass. Yeah, especially in that stupid dome that they're going to be playing at. He's going to fuck them up in that stupid dome. It's going to be great. Fucking fuck them. Let's go.
Let's go.
I think he gets a bowling. I'm with you. I think the ceiling is low, but the floor is high with Fitzgerald.
I'm fascinated to see where it goes. Yeah. Fascinated to see where it goes because part of me is he's going to get them. He's going to get them up, but can he?
Elevated.
Yeah. Can he get to where they were winning the Big Ten or competing for championships and going to the college football playoffs? That's where I'm fascinated to see if he can get there. I know he can get them to 6-6, 7-5. It's the next threshold that I'm saying, I don't know. So,
I'll tell you what, I trust him more than the other coach in Ann Arbor.
Well, that's why I was saying Kiffin should stay at Ole Miss one more year. Cause when I look around the landscape, I'm a lot of jobs could open up. I mean, I still think there's a shot that Miami could open up. Florida State could open up. Penn State. I mean, not Penn State. Michigan could open up. NC State, where Kiffin's dad coached at. Like there was I even think Texas could open up. You know what I mean? Like I think it's possible that Texas could open up.
I thought he's the best play caller in the game.
Well, wasn't he like flirting with the NFL too? Like, anyway, Michigan State hires Pat Fitzgerald. We also got. I know we got to get to the Jim Mora was hired by Colorado State. This is a fantastic hire.
Oh, great hire. This might be the best one on the cycle.
That's what I'm saying. This is Arkansas. You whiffed. Kentucky, you're late. You could have got this.
Yeah.
This was a great fucking hire. Great fucking hire. Shout out to Colorado State. Hopefully they play Dion. Two old Falcon greats going at it.
And they're back in the Pac-12. So Jim Mora Jr. back in the Pac-12. He's
there
great.
You go.
The
Yeah,
back-to-back
I think
seasons. Come on, let's go.
this is a slam dunk. Dunk.
Yeah.
And we also had this one. This one you almost wish you were a couple days late, but I think they were pissed off at Jonathan Smith for leaving also. Yeah. But Oregon State hires Jamarcus Shepard. He was at Alabama. I know the photo says Washington, but he was at Washington with DeBoer as well, and Bama. This was not on my radar.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's not going to work, but like I kind of thought Brent Vegan, why not just wait for Vegan?
Yeah, no shit. Who's running to take the Oregon State job? What the fuck is Oregon State doing? You got to give us an answer. Like you're not LSU.
Yeah. I mean,
This
Oklahoma State. I mean, I didn't know Fran Brown really well, and it worked out. Well, I'm not gonna shit on Fran Brown too much for this season because his starting quarterback got, a torn ACL in the second game, and they still upset Clemson that game as 21-point dogs or whatever. But, yeah, I have my concerns, even though I know he's a Leach guy. He was with Leach.
Yeah, he
was with Leach for a year or two, and he was a Jeff Brom guy. I mean, his resume is solid considering he's Leach, Brom, DeBoer guy.
Yep.
But I just did not see this one coming for Oregon State. I thought Jim Mora would have been one of the. I even said when they fired, I was like, Jim Mora is who they should talk to. They whiffed on Bronco Mendenhall last time. Mendenhall's a former safety who played at Oregon State. They interviewed him. They went with Trent Bray over Mendenhall. Just Oregon State can't get out of their own way right now. But I have no idea. This one to me, it's almost Pete Golding-ish to me. I don't know that I like. To me, he's qualified based on the he's got a long. He was an assistant for a long fucking time.
He's got a great resume.
Yeah.
He's got good guys that have won a lot of games in elevated programs. It's just he hasn't done it yet. I would have liked to get a proven guy as well.
Yeah.
But hey,
me too.
Hopefully he wins.
Yeah. Best wishes there. We also had Stanford hires Tavita Pritchard there, the former quarterback for them, who had famously that 43-point upset where they were the dogs, or 42, whatever it was, against USC. He was also the mentor for Andrew Luck when they were at Stanford. So,
yep.
He comes over from the Redskins. He was the Redskins OC, or I'm sorry, he was the Redskins quarterback coach. This one makes sense. I kind of thought I thought Pep Hamilton might get it. I had a feeling it was going to be a Stanford guy that was with Pep Hamilton. I don't think he graduated from Stanford, but he was part of that staff with Harbaugh. This is similar to me. So,
yeah, if I'm Stanford, you got to get back to what you were under Harbaugh and Shaw. You got to be good at the line of scrimmage again and play physical and get back to grinding games out rather than they've been a little more finesse over the last couple of years. So, and I think that's why they've struggled. So yeah, Pritchard comes from that era. Him and Luck played for Harbaugh. I would imagine Harbaugh is going to be somewhat involved being out there in the West, being there in the West Coast. This is one of his guys, him and Luck. So maybe, dude, they got money out there. Maybe the old tree huggers can get it going again.
It's funny. I was talking. I was not talking. I was listening to Tommy Luganbill talk about he loves their recruiting class coming in next year for Stanford. So we'll see.
Hug that tree.
Yeah. Coastal Carolina fired Tim Beck, even though they're bowling. Finally, someone with some brains. Georgia Southern, this could be you.
Arkansas State, it could be you.
Yeah. All right. So 2 things happened today with Sumrall leaving Tulane and Coastal firing Beck. Orgeron needs to end up at one of these 2. So what I'm proposing to my audience, if you dial 1-800-PICK-DUNDEE, I'm proposing Biff Poggi to Coastal Carolina and Ed Orgeron to Tulane. All right, that's all we need for the world to correct itself. Tim Beck, I thought they hired. I jokingly said they hired the wrong Tim Beck. I actually believe that it might have happened because I was dumbfounded that this final year at NC State, his offense was like 118th or something, right? And then I was like, wait, they hired him, and the other Tim Beck was killing it at New Mexico State at the time. So I was thinking that that's what happened is like they asked the secretary to call Tim, get Tim Beck on the phone. She went and researched. She didn't realize that there was 2 Tim Becks that were offensive coordinators in college football, and they hired the wrong Tim Beck, and they just don't want to admit it. I think that's what really happened. Do I have any other proof? No, it's just, I just don't understand why a 118th offense would be attractive. Right. I don't like normally when your offense is in the 100s, you don't say, hey, let's get that guy. Right. Your thoughts on the firing, even though he's been bowling every year. That's the only thing I'll say is like the floor. He never truly bottomed out.
I actually thought he did a decent job this year. I was like I thought they ralied for him, but yeah.
But dude, when they lost this year.
Yeah, they were a little bit fool's gold, a little fugazi. 20 and 18, that's not good enough there. We saw what Chadwell did, even though Chadwell is completely bought. Chadwell.
I wonder if they could bring. I wonder if they would offer Chadwell the job back.
Yeah, I mean, he may need to get out of Old Liberty with the way they've been tanking.
Let me just explain what I mean. Is like when they lost. They lost to Virginia by 41. They lost to ECU 38-0. They lost to Old Dominion 47-7. They lost to South Carolina 51-7. They lost to JMU 59-10. Did they have one win against a team with a winning record? I don't think they did.
No,
that's probably why they got fired. Yeah,
they're full school. They were never good.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a name for you, Neil Brown.
I think that would work.
Do you know who their opener is next year?
Is it Troy or West Virginia?
It's in Morgantown.
Okay.
I was like, oh, this would be great. But Neil Brown returns to Morgantown to take on Rich Rod. Here we go.
Could they hire the right Tim Beck? Oddly enough,
they should hire the other Tim Beck.
He would be at the, honestly, like that's one Arkansas should have hired. I think because that dude was a head coach at Pittsburgh State and he killed it. He won a natty or 2 there. I think he's well qualified to be a college football head coach at the FBS level. So if they hired him, that would be fucking classic. But yeah, the mullet Mike Gundy would work there too because he already had Chadwell's mullet.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think Gundy would work at any of these fucking AAC jobs.
I don't know. I mean, he said according to his brother, he wants to get back into coaching.
Yeah, I mean, I would think he works at North Texas. That would be funny, just be a straight up swap, Morris for Gundy. Yeah. I think he'd work at Tulane. I think he'd work at Memphis.
Bobby Petrino at the school that created their football program with Hooters money. The creator of Hooters, Tim Brooks, I think it is.
Yeah.
That shoe fits.
Petrino would be great at Memphis.
He would kill it too. He would kill it. Memphis too. Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
Shout out to Coastal that has that job open. And then we have Southern hires Marshall Faulk, Colorado's running backs coach. Look, I see the logic here. Obviously, he's one of the best running backs in NFL history, but also, Deshaun Jackson killed it. Now, Michael Vick did not kill it. The question is, which one are you getting here? Vick's in year 1. You got to give him time. But Deshaun Jackson was a slam dunk hire, just like Dion was at Jackson State, right? So you have a little bit of Eddie George, even at Tennessee State, it worked out. It took a few years, but it worked out. So what? 3 of the 4 former players. I know Chris Dish was at Texas Southern. That one's still on the fence. Your thoughts on Marshall Faulk going to Southern?
Why not? Take a shot on it.
He's from Louisiana too, dude.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Take a shot on it. Yeah, I mean, Dion had success. Deshaun had success. I think Vic will have success. I think you get the energy going at that program, getting an NFL legend. So why not? Let's see what Marshall Faulk can do. He's got to hire a good staff like the other guys have.
Yeah. And shout out to Nick. Southern did. We had them on the morning show as me and Terrell took them as moneyline dogs against Grambling. 11.5-point dogs. They got it done in a great game. All right. Well, that's the coaching front. All right. Let me see what else I can do here. Let's get, because we're supposed to talk about these games, man. There's so many goddamn hiring today. I was sitting there telling my wife, I was like, gosh, I'm going to end up doing a 10-hour show.
Yeah. Nobody remembers who played yesterday.
Yeah. All right. Before we jump into this, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is crushing it in college football and college hoops as well. They have NFL and NBA. That I hear is great as well. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model that you build, and you could win $1,000. Use the promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app. That's RITHMM for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm. Use that promo code SGPN25. All right, we are back, and you got cute, buddy. You got cute on Thursday night. My bad. You did it. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
You got it.
Well, I didn't know Arkansas was dumping the fire at Silverfield. I felt like he was all in on this run.
We had a battle, and Dundee came out victorious because I had Navy on the money line against Memphis. It's a damn shame Navy's not playing for the AAC Championship because their coach ain't leaving. I feel like they should write something in there in the future at these Group of 5 schools. If your coach leaves, if you have a tie, the team with the tie that still has their coach intact plays. Is that fair?
Army Navy then.
Yeah. Navy caps off another great season, and look, the Brian Newberry hire, I didn't know if it was going to work. I will say this. Drew Cronick, their OC, he turned down the UAB job to stay as the OC of Navy. That is prolific right there to me.
Did he turn down the head job or OC job?
No, I thought it was reported as the head job at UAB, according to their beat writer there. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but I've been on a few shows with him. So, yeah, I think his name's Bill something. That is substantial to me. If you're turning down sitting head coaching jobs at UAB to remain the OC of Navy, shout out to those midshipmen on Friday. Oh, buddy, easy cash with this Nebraska bullshit. Who'd you take in this one?
Nebraska. I thought it'd be tight.
We battle here. We battled.
Yeah, this is awful. Nebraska sucks. The punt returner ruined the whole game. They had it within striking distance, and then he fumbles through his end zone. I'm like, what are you doing?
What, Iowa scored a touchdown on special teams, or got a safety, or whatever it was? I mean,
let me ask you, why did Nebraska extend Matt Rule again?
Oh, ridiculous.
So in the end, Nebraska hit the under on the easiest schedule in fucking college football history.
Yeah. And I still think there's a world where Raiola leaves this offseason.
Could be. I mean, Nebraska, that's a wasted year. That should have been at least a 9-3 year.
Yeah.
Schedule.
Yeah.
7-5. Get out of it.
I agree. Signetti, I mean, the only difference is unlike Jonathan Smith, they went further in on Rule. How about Phil Parker? How old is Phil Parker, by the way? The Iowa DC. He should be a head coach.
Does he want it?
Damn, he's 62. No, he's kind of on the
he's gonna ride it out with Ferentz.
He's kind of on the what's it called? The Bud Foster effect there. But man, shout out to the Hawkeyes. Never a doubt. We did have we hit here.
Never a doubt.
But we did think the money line was live here. Ohio wins by 5 against Buffalo. We kind of thought, I think, coming into the season that Ohio was a lock for, or not after, like 3 weeks into the season, that they were a lock for the MAC championship. It turns out they have a crazy tiebreaker. Everyone's shitting on the ACC. Meanwhile, on the MAC, you had like a crazy tiebreaker where Miami, Ohio is playing Western Michigan in the MAC championship in that stupid Ford Field. But good season for Brian Smith in his first year. That's a guy to watch moving forward, by the way.
Yep.
8-4 season. That's a good season in year one, considering they lost some guys. Pete Lembo in Buffalo, tough year too with a 5-win season. We were kind of bullish on them in the preseason. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a disappointing year. Setback for Buffalo. We thought they could contend for the MAC title. They don't even get to a bowl. But shout out to Ohio, the Bobcats keeping the continuity going here.
Yeah. Next up we had I lost this by a half a point.
It wasn't.
I was laying 10 and a half.
The right side,
it was not, but still, I was like, come on. But hey, 10-win season. There's speculation that Whittingham. Someone asked Kalani Sitake this at the presser, but I would assume if Whittingham left, he would have already announced it, right?
Retire.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or do you maybe use the bowl season to think about it?
He's definitely going to finish the bowl season out because, he's the guy that strikes me. He wants to finish it off.
They have the coach in waiting and Morgan Scalley.
Yeah, he can. The coach in waiting can be recruiting the next year in the portal. Whittingham doesn't have to do that. He gets to do his last bowl game, and you right off into the sunset. So hey, 10-2, a nice bounce back year for Utah. Jalen Daniels. Really disappointing end to his career. I'm
going to say Lance Leipold too. I mean, look, it's not an end to his career, but Kansas got the biggest donation in college football history a few months back, $300 million, or in college athletics history. We'll see what Leipold can do with that, but I was very disappointed by the season. He's got a knack for losing fucking close games this year. I mean, they were in a lot of these games. They had a 17-point lead against Missouri, ended up losing by 11. Right. And that was that wasn't a first quarter lead. That was like mid game, 17-point lead. Cincinnati, they had a lead in the final minute. They lose, right? Defense couldn't stop anybody. Similar situation with Arizona, up the whole game against Arizona, but the Wildcats made the plays down the stretch. And I think you could even say this game to a certain extent. Disappointing year. I'm curious to see what Kansas does moving forward because, I don't think Leipold's job is in jeopardy. But I do think he's got probably 2 years to figure this thing out. But that money will help. I'm curious how much money they'll allocate to football as opposed to basketball and baseball. But I would assume football is going to get a big chunk of that, being it drives the bus in college sports. But disappointing. I had them as a team that could potentially win. I thought they could be a sleeper in the Big 12 this year, and I was wrong.
Yeah, so. We've been talking about sleeper the last couple of years. Daniels. Health, inconsistencies. Those 2 interceptions in the red zone were god awful. So we'll see what they look like life after Jalen Daniels here.
Royal flush. Do I think if Cincinnati loses its bowl game that Satterfield will be fired? Should be fired. I already think he should be fired. But I don't think he'll be fired this year. I think he's back next year.
It's hilarious that they were 7-1 and they lost out like we joked about.
They only had one win against a team with a winning record, and that was when they had. If you watch that game, I think you would be convinced that Iowa State was better than Cincinnati.
Yeah, their whole team was injured.
They had both their kickers were out, so every fourth down they had to attempt. With the offense, so they were like going for 4th and 8s and shit. I think Iowa State would have won that game had everyone been healthy. Yeah. Shout out to Whittingham and the Utes. Any chance they're in the playoffs?
No.
Yeah, I know. I just had to do that contractually. Next up, oh boy,
Carney.
We nailed this.
This guy's a good coach.
They go into DeKalb and win a 5th game. When you consider, and honestly, I was doing a deep dive randomly because I just. I'm up weird hours. My son will wake me up screaming and shit, and then I can't go back to sleep. So I'm just thinking football like I always do. I was looking at Kent State's schedules back 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Because at one point they were producing a lot of very good pros. They schedule ridiculously in the non-conference.
I know.
They were at Texas Tech, at Florida State, and at Oklahoma this year. If you just replace those, they didn't do that 30 years ago, 20 years ago. They did not. They might have done one of those, but most years they didn't even do those. If you want your path back to stability, okay, I understand they pay you a lot of money to keep it keeps the lights on and everything, but how about you limit that? Because I remember Sean Lewis did, that was the most ridiculous one. I think Sean Lewis's final year, they played at Georgia. I want to say it was at Oklahoma again and at Washington. And I think 2 of the 3 made the playoffs, right? It was ridiculous. You're never going to be able to make a bowl if you're doing 3 ridiculous bye games like that.
Yeah.
So look over at Toledo, look over at Ohio, and do it a little wiser. Do it a little wiser. All right.
4-4 in MAC play, man. What a year for Carney. Well-earned job. Did as good a job as anybody in the country that nobody will talk.
He 100%.
Arkansas should have hired him.
College game day. Honestly, I mean, yes. He's a better football coach than Silverfield based on my sample size that I've seen. Shout out to him in Northern Illinois. Best of luck next year in the Mountain West. Now, I know your whole team left and you're getting a bunch more money for going to the Mountain West. Maybe that will pay off. But man, that was bad last year. Just 3-9. The Huskies were. The Egg Bowl. So I know we locked up Mississippi State on the show. And I know we got intel before the game, and I talked about it on the morning show. If you caught this, I did not bet Mississippi State because we got intel, I think on Thursday day during Thanksgiving, that Blake Shapen was not going to be playing for Mississippi State. So I did pull my bet back. I'd never bet it, and at that point, I had not bet it yet. So I know we locked it up on the show, but once I got that intel, shout out to we had a fan whose sister was dating him. That was how we figured that out.
Shapen or Taylor?
Shapen. So we got a DM saying, "Hey, dude, my sister has been dating Shapen for a while. He's not playing on Thursday night." Appreciate that intel because that I would have lost money. So who knew what we're building over here, Mac? But did you go in on this game?
I bet Mississippi State. I was playing the Lane distraction piece. That was my whole handicap. I get throw out the Lane emotions from today, yesterday, after the game. Lane had those guys ready to play, man. And I give him credit. They
that was one layer. We'll see the next layer.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, Ole Miss was a better team. That also sucks that game was at fucking 11 a.m.
That should have been a night game. You fucking bastards. First off, it should be on Thanksgiving. Second of all, it should be a night game.
That was a killer to the crowd.
Yeah. Shout out to Weehawk with a great question here. Do you think any of these coaches who get fired from P4 schools will pull the Frank Solich? Yeah, Frank Solich was an interesting one because he was very successful at Nebraska, just not as successful as Tom Osborne, who's like one of the best coaches ever. But he went to Ohio and made them a winner year in, year out. I'm sure he had offers to leave, but he didn't. That's what I wonder is you saw Jason Eck re-signed today, by the way. Or not re-signed, but
Mike Gundy would be the name.
Yeah.
Because
I
he's more old school and less portal and NIL.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in it for the right reasons, did you hear Rolovich's press conference?
Yeah, I did. And I saw him telling Duke to donate to their collective.
Rolo is one that I truly buy. We've had him on the show. I truly buy that. He just, when it was like Fitzgerald to a certain point when Rolo got that shit dealt to him, and it was shit. He was volunteering at a high school. That's just who he is. You know what I mean? So I think some are after the bag of cash, and some are just I think they'd be coaching no matter what, right? They just want to help people, and they're connected to people, and they love the sport of football. So maybe we'll see some like Gundy. I think, especially at this point in his life, is probably like that too. The question is one of these schools? I'm curious because I never heard Gundy say it himself. His brother said it. So yeah, Gundy to Wyoming would be fucking
Dude,
great.
that's what I mean. There's so many good spots that Gundy would fit right in, where he doesn't have to worry about the NIL and all the shit that he hates, and he can just coach ball, develop talent like he always has. Like Wyoming would be a great spot.
Coastal would be a great spot.
Yeah, dude, get him to the G5. He'd be great there.
Yeah.
And there's a path to the playoff.
Even the FCS, dude, I would be happy.
Yes.
Even the FCS, I'd be happy.
Oh, dude, get Gundy to Wyoming. I'm in on that one. Let's go.
Yeah. Matt wondering why it moved off Thanksgiving because these TV execs run the sport, unfortunately. And
Morons.
Guess what? They're also tied to the NFL. Like the same very networks that own college sports to a certain extent are tied to the NFL. I can just imagine that the NFL said, "Hey, we'd prefer not to." Whoa, what just happened?
Am I out? They get fired.
What just happened here? Go back.
I'm not touching it.
Really? Russians? They're in here?
What happened to the slides?
There we go. What happened?
I don't know. Went over to Brooklyn too.
I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Next up, we have Air Force. This was the easiest bet all fucking year. This is my number one lock. I put so much money on the Falcons. Easiest fucking bet. They won by 21. I was on fire, man. I had a great Saturday and Friday. You went in on this one, right?
I did. We should have put this one. I mean, we went 5-1-1 in the contest but we should have put this one in there. We talked about it, me and Bet Detective. They killed them. They dominated this game.
I'm surprised. We couldn't have put it in ours, but I did. It makes me want to think. How did we do?
I did not. I don't think I got a chance to tune into your guys' show this week. I think this was the first one I missed just because it was so chaotic with travel and us having to go on Tuesday rather than Wednesday. I don't remember who you guys took.
Oh my God, man. We had Auburn plus 6.5.
Oh, that was fucking brutal. It was fucking bullshit.
Yeah. So we went 4-3.
4-3.
Yeah.
Winning week.
4-3. 4-3, but not that Auburn beat's fucking brutal. You know what I hate is they don't open it up until because you could have got 7. We could have got 7 the whole week, but it doesn't open up until Friday.
You know what one we missed? We missed Utah. That was the only one we missed.
We missed Michigan and Pitt, of course. Pitt. We'll get to them. Shout out to Troy Calhoun. Bad year, but at least you stuck at the Colorado State in the final year. You're going to be playing them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's go. I cashed here. It's a lock battle against you and Bet Detective.
Yeah.
Jackets plus 14.5. Brett Key takes this game too seriously, dude.
This game sucked.
It does suck in that dome. Like it did not deliver like that.
Dude, I barely I obviously watched it. I was not locked in on this game like I had been in years past because it wasn't the same that it wasn't on campus. It was so corporate. It was at that fucking dome. This stupid ass, dumbass security at that stupid bullshit piece of shit stadium is ID and Brent Key going to coach his team. They don't even know who Brent Key is. What the fuck are we doing? Fuck this game. This game was stupid.
It was terrible. It should always be on campus. I hope
How do you not know who Brent Key is?
Yeah, it's like when Madison Square Garden didn't know when Ewing. Remember they almost
worse.
arrested
That's
Ewing.
Worse. That's worse.
Yeah, because he's a 7-foot Jamaican dude,
and his jersey's in
and
the
it's like,
rafters.
dude, what? And not only his jersey, they probably have a statue. If they don't have a statue, they need to have one, right? Yeah, just a terrible fucking game there, but easy money, right? Hey, shout out to Donaldson. You're coming around, huh? I don't want to sound like Colby to a T, but this dome feels so soulless.
It was horrible.
It was so terrible. That's what I'm saying. You didn't even have you couldn't even see the bands. Like, man, just the shots of like, whether it's Sanford Stadium, whether it's Bobby Dodd, 2 classic stadiums. It's college football. You took this rivalry out of what it is. And it was like a preseason game.
Shout out to Booger. Shout out to Booger McFarland. He took a shot at the TV execs. He said this game should always be on campus. So I'll shout out to him. He gets a game ball.
Hey man, I didn't catch
He gets
that,
a
but
game ball.
amen.
Booger gets a game ball.
But I disagree with his take on Ole Miss should keep Lane Kiffin for the what?
I know.
He's telling you to get fucked, and you want to keep him there for the playoffs.
Listen, he worked for ESPN. One for two is pretty good for that sorry ass.
That is true. That is true.
We'll take the wins when we can get them.
Easy money though, and then easy money right here.
Oh, great.
As we had a field storming in Albuquerque, and my boy Jason Eck continues to kill it. 23-17 in double overtime. What a game. In my opinion, this was the best Friday game. Awesome game. Awesome watch. Dude, and he just re-upped at New Mexico. I had a feeling, like, because they were saying some schools might call this year. You know, we had him on the show. Go back and listen to the episode. But just meeting him, and I'm not going to say he's not going to ever leave for another job because he played at Wisconsin. I'm sure he's a capitalist by nature, and a better opportunity is a better opportunity. But he didn't strike me as a one and done guy. Mm-hmm. He's a former offensive lineman. His kids play on the team. I just didn't see it. Now, who's to say Kentucky doesn't call him? I don't know. But I'd still be pretty surprised. And what a great story for New Mexico. Had their heart broken when Mendenhall left. I don't even blame Mendenhall because Mendenhall's family was living in Logan. So why not go back to your family? So, but at the same time, I'm so happy for New Mexico. And it sucks that they're not in the Mountain West Championship. I saw some bullshit there, but
what a joke.
I mean, it's hard to dictate. Someone's going to get fucked over. You have 4 teams with the same record. How the fuck do you do this? They should just push the championship game back a week and then have them all play each other. You know?
Are we shocked that they picked Boise and UNLV?
Well, here's the thing. That this is why it sucks. I believe their computers. I don't believe they told lies, but Boise and UNLV were more attractive plays for the power conferences. The power conferences didn't want to. They based on New Mexico being terrible of late. So they're more attractive plays. Like Notre Dame putting Boise on the schedule is the reason why they're in that game. UNLV had a series of them too, I believe. They had UCLA and they had who else? It was somebody else too, right? I know New Mexico played Michigan, right? But New Mexico, some of their other games were like New Mexico State. UNLV played Miami, Ohio, who's in the MAC championship. Who's the other Power 5 they played? Didn't they play another Power 5? They played another. They played UCLA, Miami, Ohio, and someone else that I thought was decent. But either way, San Diego State. It's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. But what a season! 9 wins, tied for the championship game. I appreciated his tweet saying that we just beat UNLV and San Diego State. So in the past 2 weeks, so we should have the right to play Boise because we just proved your tiebreaker.
Yeah,
and they did. They did in that regard. They completely did.
X great. Don't give a fuck, dude. They started 0-2 in league play and they ran off 6 in a row.
The guy can coach football. You saw it, and this is why going back to Oregon State, they should have gave Vegan his time because Eck was there at Montana State at one point. Mm-hmm. What he did at Idaho was great. They were terrible before he got there. He took them and got them. The guy is a great fucking coach. That's why he is destined, I think, to be a Power 5 coach at some point. But I do believe
Wisconsin. Yeah,
I do believe almost like Brom at Purdue. He didn't get bought the first time because he said man, I owe it to my players. I commend Jeff Brown for that shit. He owed it to his players, but he said he even told his players then that Louisville's my dream job, but I can't take it right now. And then he took it the second time around, and I don't blame him for it. Shout out. What's that?
Bronco wasn't going to let him in the Mountain West Championship.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Bronco all of a sudden is an analytics guy going for it.
So if you watch this game, they storm the field, and then Jason Eck goes to the weight room at New Mexico to watch because if Utah State had just beaten Boise State, New Mexico was in.
Yep.
And we'll talk about Utah State in a second. But Temple, we did lose money here. This is my first loss of the week, really, with Temple with the points against North Texas. North Texas won. They dropped 52 on them. Nice win for Eric Morris agency. Yeah, I don't really have much to say besides that. This is the game we could talk about because, all right, I've been watching Bronco Mendenhall since he first became a head coach, and you could even argue. I mean, this one. What was this? I have never seen some shit. It's almost like he knew. It's almost like he knew that New Mexico needed him to win. Now, I know he probably didn't know that and didn't think that. I believe he's a high character dude, but if you were watching this game, Utah State up 5 at the 10-yard line goes for a 4th and 2. They're at the Boise 10-yard line. They go for a 4th and 2 a field goal could make it an 8-point game. They don't get the 2. They call QB power to Bryson Barnes. Doesn't work. Then Boise ends up, fumbling, I think it is later. And, this isn't both in the 4th quarter. Then Utah State has the ball at their own 40-yard line at a 4th and 1. And he does not punt. And he goes for it with the QB power and they get stopped again. That is the one that I'm like very suspicious on. The other one, I'm like, I can see the case, even though the field goal would make it an 8-point game. You would think the defense had been great against Boise's lackluster offense all game. But this one, because you're giving them the ball right there, was absolutely ridiculous. Like this one, made me think like, man, Mendenhall wouldn't do this. So you could sell me on the 4th and 2 inside the 10, right? Even though I this one was like, what?
Yeah. They ran quarterback power both times. It's fucking stuffed.
Well, I mean, Bryce, the pig farmer normally gets that. I understand the play call, but I just don't understand why you would go for it at your own 40 with 4 minutes left, up 5.
Pump the ball, trust your defense. They've been playing well, bad weather.
Yeah.
There was bad weather in this game, too.
Yeah, it was snowing at that point, too. That's what I'm saying. Like, what was that call? If you're a New Mexico fan, you truly hate Bronco Mendenhall. I'll say that. Because Boise ends up stopping him and then scoring. Unbelievable. Yeah. This was a great game, too, though. Both the Mountain West games delivered.
Tell you what, Boise better be glad that better be thankful that they got Mendenhall now, because I don't know if they're going to get him in the future, man. He has turned Utah State around quickly. Eck wasn't as much a rebuild job just because Mendenhall got them out of the gutter last year. He got them at least respectable again. But this is back.
And he put the culture intact, I would say. Even though a lot of the team left, there was still a chunk of players that were there.
There was a jolt of energy,
Yeah.
But this is back-to-back years. Mendenhall comes in right away, boom, instant.
Well, and here's the thing. When Mendenhall was at BYU and even at Virginia, he was Boise's kryptonite, man.
Yep.
So Boise, get ready, man. Get ready. We got Jim Mora at Colorado State. You got Entz had a great year at Fresno. Your new Pac-12. I think Rogers is building something in Pullman.
Is New Mexico going to Pac-12?
No, they're staying in the Mountain West. It's dude. That's why I kind of hope Mullen takes the Memphis or Kentucky job, because Eck and Calhoun will have smooth sailing.
No shit.
Right? Smooth fucking sailing.
Yeah. No. Well, we'll see who Vegas would hire. They've done pretty well with their hires recently. So, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But we cashed on this, by the way. Cashed on Utah State.
Let's go.
Yeah. Next up, Texas A&M. I lost money on this. This was the best game Arch Manning ever played, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
A&M might be a little bit overrated. Maybe I'm praising them too much. But either way, Texas does not deserve to be in the college football playoffs. At all. Like, without question. But great win. Something to build on for next year. And if Manning can play like that consistently, you might have your guy. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah.
Great atmosphere, by the way.
Yep. I mean, you knew it would be Texas. So like Texas, it's funny. Like, you're disappointed you missed the playoff, but you beat Oklahoma and you beat Texas A&M in the same year. So to a certain degree, you're satisfied, even though your three biggest rivals maybe in the college football playoff when you add Texas Tech in there as well. It's hilarious. But yeah, second half, that crowd got into it. They got stops. I'm not a believer in Texas A&M. They played the whole bottom half of the SEC. I like Elko as a coach. Marcel Reed has had a bad second half of the year, and
that turf was fucking terrible though, dude.
But he started turning the ball over in that South Carolina game. Like, I mean, if you're down 30 to South Carolina, I have some red flags.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they're as dangerous as any team in the playoffs, but yeah, I mean, Texas outplayed them the second half, specifically the second half. Yeah. Credit to them. I thought it was chalky. Everyone, you guys battled me here.
Yeah,
you guys want to battle.
The horns.
Yeah. Per Herb Street saying, is Texas still a bad win for Ohio State? Here's the thing, like, no, it's a good win for Ohio State, but I also think you caught them at the most perfect time.
Yeah.
I mean, I would still take Ohio State to beat Texas tomorrow because I don't think Texas is that good, but Arch Manning was fucking terrible for like majority of the season. But majority of the season, and I think you know this, but yeah.
Well, in the narrative that they're going to miss the playoff because they scheduled Ohio State, stupid. You're missing the playoff because you lost at Florida.
Yeah.
All you had to do was beat Florida, and you're in easily.
And you should miss the playoffs because not only did you lose to Florida, a 4-win team, you never had the lead in that game. Also, Kentucky just got waxed by Louisville. No one talks about that. Texas needed overtime and even went down to 4th and 1. Fucking Stoops. And then the Mississippi State game. Like, against shitty teams, you were not good this year. You barely got past. And you needed everything to go right for that. We ate shit on this one too, dude.
This fucking
took, what did I get, like 29 points? Fucking Cignetti's such a dick.
He's fucking fuck you to everyone.
56-3. Barry Odom, why did you leave UNLV for Purdue? Especially, I wonder if he has buyer's remorse. Or I'm sorry, just the fact that Arkansas is open and he was there, and Arkansas would have hired him, I think, with his ties to Arkansas. But instead, he took Purdue, and he's going to be a rich man regardless. But I question the move. What a dominating win for Indiana. Are they the best team in the country?
I think so. I've said it all year. I think they are. I know everybody likes Ohio State, and Ohio State did get a really impressive win this weekend. Best win of their year. But Indiana undresses teams week after week after week, and they have the best road wins too.
Yeah. What a fucking asshole. Just destroyed
again. It's like the same game as last year. I'm like, what the fuck, Purdue? How are you not any better?
We hit on this with the Wildcats sticking it to the Sun Devils, 23-7. Is it fair to say that Arizona should probably be in the playoffs? I mean, not the playoffs, the Big 12 championship. That fumble by BYU, man, I felt like Arizona was the better team that game. So then you change that outcome, and Arizona's in the playoffs. Or I'm sorry, in the championship game to get to the playoffs. They're hot right now, man. They're fucking hot, and took these Wildcats. We all did. It's triple lock.
Yep. That what they won 5 in a row to end. And
these idiots wanted Brennan fired. He's 9-3.
9-3, and also they have a 3-point loss to Houston the game after the BYU game. So like those two games.
An overtime loss to BYU where like they fumbled the ball forward, fucking Dave Casper style, right? Yeah, they should at least be 10-2 or not 11-1, something like that.
Yeah.
Great second year for Brent Brennan. The guy can coach. Next up, we had this one. How about this one, man? I didn't bet this. I stayed away. Did you go in on this?
I went in on the Pokes, man. They competed.
20-13. Another one-score game for Matt Campbell that he won. But how about Matt Campbell? A lot of injuries. Still an 8-4 season. Shout out to Iowa State. As long as he stays around, you're going to be contending every year.
Yeah, agreed. 8-4. Them and Iowa are the same program, over and over and over again.
Shout out Matola. Thank you, buddy. I've been waiting for this. We argued on this. I am stupid. You are smart. I was wrong on Brent. Brendan, you were right. You are the best. I'm the worst. Great Billy Madison reference. And he also says, what does BTFD mean?
I don't know.
What is BTFD? Either way, fuck Arizona State, he says. And yeah, let's go.
Belt to fucking, I don't know. I thought it was belt to ass, but then that's D. What is BTF?
That had to be your bull.
Belt to fucking dick. Bob, I'm telling you, Iowa State fucking does this every year too now. Campbell and Ferris are like the same fucking coach. They just fucking win.
I do love. I'm a sucker for some Iowa football, especially not that filthy FCS team in the dome.
They were in the
like Drake.
They were in the Big 12 title game last year.
Oh, bear the fuck down. Bear the fuck down. Okay, there we go.
Where you're going, beat the fucking dick in.
Oklahoma State 1-11. Great season.
Good job. Aren't you glad you fired my gun, you fucking losers? Like, what was the point?
Unbelievable.
Look at
that. How about this one? I took fucking Louisville. You clowns went with Kentucky.
I didn't know that. I thought they'd be fighting for his job.
41-0 Louisville.
Yeah,
that will get you fired. Shout out to the Cards. It's personal for the Browns, man. You got to remember his dad was there in Louisville. Like it's personal. This is a C-note game here.
Shouldn't it have been personal for Stoops? His fucking GM left for Louisville.
True, but I think
about how great Brown is.
Stoops played at Iowa. It's just
it's supposed to be
it's all over the place.
Best friend.
Shout out to the Cards. I thought the SEC was such a gauntlet. By the way, I do appreciate Mario Cristobal bringing that up. He said, if it's such a gauntlet, why is Louisville beating Kentucky? He's like, Texas needed overtime at Kentucky.
Yeah.
He was like, Louisville just beat him 41-0. He caught out that shit. And he caught out Clemson sticking it to South Carolina and Florida State sticking it to Alabama. I think the man's got a point.
And Georgia,
he might not know when to kick a field goal, but he knows when to bring that shit up.
And Georgia Tech lost by 7 to Georgia.
Yeah.
It's fucking SEC. Like, pump the brakes. I saw somebody in the chat talking about Texas' schedule. Get the fuck out. You lost to Florida.
Texas' schedule was not that hard.
No, it wasn't.
It was not that hard. They gave you Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Vandy. Now, Vandy's good this year, but I'm just saying, you also had Sam Houston State and San Jose State on the schedule.
Yeah.
Like, those should be 5 wins. With the caliber athlete you bring in, those should be 5 automatic wins right there. Now, okay, you play Oklahoma every year, and Oklahoma's better than what we thought. Sure. At Ohio State is very tough. A&M is tough. Georgia is tough. So 4 really tough games. Fair. I'll give you that. 4 very tough games. But a lot of teams play 4 very tough games. Right? They had 4 very tough games. Florida also sucks. South Florida beat Florida in the same stadium that you guys never had the lead. Right? Don't want to hear it. Colorado, Kansas State. We lost money on this. Colorado actually showed up. If they didn't go for a dumb 4th down,
I'm shocked that they showed up.
They actually showed up tough, dude. Like Colorado, I watched this whole game because it was in the snow. And by the way, the amount of snow football games this weekend were awesome. D2, D3, FCS. I was in snow football heaven. At one point I had 7 of my 9 TVs on snow games. And I was like, I should have took a photo. I don't think it's better than like that. This is college. This is the way football is supposed to be played. Not in fucking early August, like some of these jackasses want to say, right? K-State struggled, but they got there. 6 wins, man. Avery Johnson still only threw for $115. I wonder if he's back at K-State next year. But I can tell you this:
it was hard to throw in that weather. I'll give him a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. But no, that's all year though. That's an all year thing.
Yeah.
It was hard to throw in that weather. And shoeless Joe Jackson, the running back, he went off again. But we lost money.
Shout out to Kleiman. They didn't quit. They still get to a bowl in a bad year.
And I'll even say shout out to Dion here. The players played hard for him this game.
Yeah.
They did, man. Like they clearly had nothing to play for. And they fought harder than I thought. I thought this was a laydown spot, personally. I thought they were going to lose like 40. I thought they were going to be like 42-3. And they fought for him. So, I mean, still a terrible year, but they fought for him.
Yeah, you think he's back?
Apparently, I think the news would have already came out. And he already said like, hey, that next year. I mean, I get he said this before, but I'm saying like he's implying next year. This game was fucking brutal. Did you see? So I went with Central Michigan. I bet Central Michigan. I also bet Central Michigan money line. They had a 4th and goal that they went for on the first drive where I thought the guy scored, but the ref marked him short. And since it's the MAC, you don't have a fucking you don't have a camera exactly on the goal line.
Idiots.
I thought he scored personally, which would have gave them a 10-0 lead, by the way, considering they scored 3 the next quarter. Either way, Toledo also had Toledo had like a 80-yard touchdown. Now, I think Toledo would have won this game. My money line would have never cashed. Where the ref, he bangs into the ref, and so his momentum's going, and he runs into the ref, and the defense collapses. But because he hit the ref with such velocity, it bounced him back. So the players fall into the ref, and then he goes off for like 70 fucking yards. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I still think Toledo would have won this game, but I do believe my points would have fucking covered this fucking game had we got those breaks, man. It's a tough
Should have been a better year for Toledo.
True. You know, Jason Candle's got some Ryan Silverfield to him, in my opinion.
A lot. He loses big as a favorite.
Yeah.
That's a big favorite.
Shout out to the Rockets though for getting that win. And then this worst call of the weekend for me. 38-7. Pitt is just destroyed.
Thank God this game was going on at the same time as my game. At least I could laugh about this one.
Fucking Pitt. I actually wondered if there was a shot. I know he went 8-4, but I was wondering if Pitt would open. Turns out I don't think so, but because 8-4 is still a really good season.
Yeah.
I can't. But I just wondered if it would open because new school, new president, new athletic director. But no, shout out to the Canes. Shout out to Cristobal. I thought for sure they would lose this game. I felt very good that they would lose this game. So this was a battle, by the way. You guys beat me on this.
I beat you with the U. They hit him in the mouth and they did not let up. And they were going for style points because they're getting ready to get fucked over by the committee for Notre Dame.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that.
From one bad game to another bad game. West Virginia and Pitt fans.
I said Dub V was live because Texas Tech had clinched already on the Saturday pregame show. I was like, why is Texas Tech not even playing for anything?
Yeah.
Take a shot on Dub V on the money line. Wow.
That was done 5 minutes in.
Where are you at with year one, Rich Rod?
It was what it was. Looking back on it, that was a dream crusher at Arizona State. They had battled back. If they win that, then they have a shot to make a bowl. Once they got down like 14-0, Rich Rod treated it like a fucking preseason non-con game. He played 3 quarterbacks again. I was like, what the fuck is this? That was a painful watch. Shout out to Texas Tech. They kicked our ass from beginning to end. They look like the team that invested $30 million in their roster. We look like the team that had about $10 million or $5 million in our roster because we got killed.
Yeah. Then we had Ball State, Miami, Ohio. I think I took the points. What was the line again? It was like 20. What was this line? No, Miami, Ohio covered. I didn't bet this game, but Miami, Ohio's in the MAC championship. Chuck Martin. Got to give it to him. Got to give it to him every time. Shout out. And I think you had the Redskins here. Yeah. So shout out to that. Next up, this was easy money. Triple lock or double lock, at least on Clemson.
Contest play.
28-14 against South Carolina. We didn't have the luxury of having this game on our card because it was ass. But I mean, it's kind of the what I expected. Beamer's going to be on the hot seat next year.
Yeah, 4-8. I mean, he had Dabo out there saying
new athletic director though. What did he say?
Dabo was going out of his way to pump up Beamer after the game, like politicking for him. I go, oh, this is when you know. Dabo's like, keep him around because South Carolina, Beamer's a little overrated and overhyped.
And then this one, shout out to all the Buckeye fans. I know we have a they're such a passionate fan base. They can. They're in our. Ohio is football through and through. Don't get me wrong. But they're so passionate. Just Ohio. They care about their Buckeyes. So sometimes we'll get a lot of flack for talking about the schedule. Rightfully so. I mean, Ohio State. You watch this game, you're like, man, they're supremely talented. They're supremely talented. I knew that all season. I just wish they would have got a little more of a test, but that's not their fault to a certain extent. Putting Grambling on the schedule is their fault, but it was not their fault that Texas wasn't as good as people thought, and it wasn't their fault the Big Ten gave them that schedule. This was an ass whooping, dude.
Yeah.
And look, I think that I still think Jeremiah Smith fumbled the ball out of bounds, but who cares? They still would have won the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, like either they shouldn't have reviewed it, or if you review it, that's a fumble and out of bounds because his first step was out of bounds. But either way, Michigan couldn't even get a touchdown. They would have not won this game any way you slice it. Shout out to the Buckeyes. Loved it in the snow. Everything that Detroit Lion football should be before that franchise was deleted in the 70s is what when you watch these Michigan games, when you get the snow. And I couldn't help but think with Michigan State playing at that bullshit stadium, that game would have been in the snow had they not sold their souls. But shout out Buckeyes, man. I thought Ryan Day had a great answer, so I'm just gonna let the scoreboard speak for itself. Great answer. I like that shit, man. Buckeyes rolled, man. They look good. And I'll tell you this, Julian Saint's a beast. They had that early pick where had me very concerned.
Yeah.
The California boy in the snow. I was like, oh man, Michigan's gonna get him. Man, the second that he threw that interception, after that and the rest of the game, he was on fire, man. He was dissecting that fucking defense. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Michigan, Michigan came out and ran the ball first drive, but they get 3, stalls out. Then the next drive, they get almost a pick 6, but then that drive stalls. When they only were able to get 6 there, it was like, you're going to have to finish eventually one of these drives. And they never came close to really scoring after that. So Underwood only had 60 yards throwing. Ohio State kicked their ass. And Ohio State fans, you don't need to win the Natty this year to be happy. You got your wish. So when you get upset in the playoff, you can't bitch. All you said you wanted to do was beat Michigan. So if you get beat, don't be calling for Ryan Day's head.
I'm not even saying they're gonna get beat, dude. Like, I didn't know how good they were.
They flexed
honestly.
They flexed yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's fair to say that. I think it was fair to say that because I don't think anyone on their schedule. Like, I don't even view Washington as a good football. I know Washington's schedule says what, 8-4 or something, right? 9-3, whatever it is. I think it's 8-4. I just think they're kind of phony. As an 8-4, I look at them more like a 6-6 type of team. So I'm like, I know Husky Stadium is a tough place to go into, and credit to Ohio State for winning that. But I just don't. If that's your best win prior to this game, I was like, or Texas and Arch Manning's first ever start.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to really deduce from the schedule. This, even though you could say Michigan's offense has been an issue all year, in similar vein to Oklahoma, Michigan's been winning the games. So. Ohio State looked really good.
They did.
They look fucking really
How about
fucking
Patricia?
Good. Yeah. Now, I guess I should have kind of expected that, knowing that Michigan's offense is complete trash. But overall, for the whole season, he's been phenomenal. I mean, Michigan only had 160 yards of offense, 163 yards of offense. They got their ass whooped. This was an ass whooping.
Yeah. Beat down.
Yeah. Shout out to the Buckeyes.
What do we think about Sharon?
I think he's on the hot seat. I thought, honestly, if you want me to evaluate Michigan's season, I thought they were the best under Biff Poggi.
Yeah.
Biff Poggi, the 2 games that he was their head coach, they looked better than the games that he was not head coach. So
that was a disappointing year. 9-3 with very little quality wins. What was the best win? Nebraska? Washington at home?
Probably Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, that's that they lost every.
The problem with so everyone's finding out about this problem right now of I've heard so many people bitching about Duke being in the ACC championship, and I'm like, I get it. But this does happen in the NFL. I can count you like 30 fucking years this happened in the NFL where the team that wins the NFC West at like 9-7 and your second or third place team in the NFC East is sitting there at like 10-6 and they never make it. This shit happens a lot in a few different sports. But the schedules are we hit on this 2 years ago when this shit first happened, when we first saw the schedules. I took Louisville to win the ACC. I forget who else. I took someone else in the Indiana last year. I said, go back and listen to our preview for last year. I go, dude, there's a world where they could run this table and just lose to Ohio State.
Yep.
Now, I didn't bet for them to go 11-1, but I said that schedule. I go, man, there's just too many teams in these fucking conferences, right? Well, in the Big Ten specifically, I know everyone's shitting on the SEC because they should have 9 games. Everyone should have 9 games. But the Big Ten has so many shitty teams. So you look at Ohio State and Washington and Michigan, those 3 specifically, I think you could throw Oregon in there too. They didn't play a lot of good teams. Like, just go look at the schedule. And you're like, I mean, what do you value as a good team? They all those teams didn't play. There's too much dead weight in the conference. That's why, like, they're trying to get that private equity deal done because the teams want, like, Northwestern, even Minnesota, who I think is probably the closest to being a decent team. I still think they're very Wake Forest-ish. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of dead weight in the conference. Like, what, UCLA, I don't think Nebraska and Washington are nearly as good as what their records say. But Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan are probably like 5 teams where I can say like they're good, right? Am I forgetting one? USC.
Yeah, USC.
Right?
Yeah.
6 teams, but you have 18 teams in your conference. You know what I mean? So it's like 2/3 of your conference is dead weight. You know what I mean? That's just the reality.
Yeah.
Like they're dead weight.
Amen.
So like looking at the schedules, there's a reason why I took a future on Nebraska to make the playoffs. There's a reason why I took a future on Washington to make the playoffs. Did I like their rosters? No, I didn't.
Terrible.
I just thought the path was there for I was like, man, they don't play a lot of good teams. So yeah. Wake Forest dead weight. Historically, this year Wake Forest was good, but you get my point. I don't even think Illinois qualifies as a good team to me. Yeah. No, yes. The ACC, you could say the same, but the difference with the ACC is I feel like they're all kind of on the same level. The Big Ten, the problem is you have like 4 or 5 super elite teams, and then you have a bunch of. So in the ACC, what makes it appealing, in my opinion, it's similar to the Big 12, is that you have a bunch of teams on that level, right?
And that bottom tier in the Big Ten is so bad.
Yeah. That's like Maryland and Rutgers and shit like that. Like, even like, I know Oklahoma State was 1-11 this year, but like most years, you're thinking, okay, they're a dangerous team because their offense, they could put up points. You know, I feel like you respect them more than it's like, you know what you're getting with Rutgers. Rutgers is never a threat to beat anybody good. Right? Northwestern for the most part too, even though I know that Fitz got them in the Big Ten West to the championship. So yeah, I mean, I get your point. You're right to a certain extent. Like the ACC doesn't have super elite teams. There's no Ohio State, Big 12 too, but at least like each week we know, hey, this is a pretty even game, right? So I think that changes your perception of the conference because you're like, man, I don't know who's going to win this game. When you see Ohio State, Rutgers, and you know, like, and you know, whatever, Oregon and Northwestern or something, you're like, God, you know, UCLA, Penn State. Even though I know UCLA upset them because Penn State was a mess, but I'm just saying, like, there's. And I forgot to add Penn State. It's just hard to get excited about those games. When you're going through those games, you're like, man, this is 3 touchdowns. This is a 3 touchdown spread, a 4 touchdown spread. In the ACC and Big 12, you're like, okay, I don't know about this game. This is a 6-point spread or something, So I think it's a different feel when you're going through the schedules in the Big Ten. It's a big problem for the Big Ten. The SEC does not have that. The SEC doesn't have maybe the super elite teams this year, but for the most part, the SEC, you're like, yeah, okay, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Kentucky are trash. But the other ones, you're like, I don't know, they could lose this game.
Yeah, I mean,
they could lose
going
this
to
game.
Florida.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Florida, even though they suck, they're capable of beating
because
you.
they have talent.
I don't get that feeling with Rutgers. You know what I mean? I don't get that feeling with Maryland ever. With Maryland, and I've watched Maryland my whole fucking life. I grew up having to watch Maryland because regional TV in the 90s you were stuck with. So, yeah. Anyway, shout out to the Buckeyes. Houston and Baylor were doing battle. Hey, we hit on this.
Is Aranda fired?
No, they announced he was coming back.
It's crazy.
Did you miss that?
I saw I saw the rumors. I didn't know if it was official. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Rob, the basements are. I disagree. I just think there's more. Well, first off, the Big Ten has more teams than every other conference, so I think their basement is bigger. I think their basement is bigger than any other conferences, in my opinion. I mean, especially like to me, what like Northwestern and Minnesota, they got the bowl games this year, but I don't know. Like Cal in week 2 stuck it to Minnesota. You know what I mean? Like I don't know that they're actually good football teams. So I think it's just a little bit bigger, and which makes sense because they have more teams than every other conference. We cashed on Fritz here. I don't know if you have any other thoughts on this game. Baylor's a shit show.
A great year for Houston. Year 2 Fritz, 9 wins. They jump up from 4 wins. So that's the trajectory we thought with Fritz. So West Virginia fans, this is what we're looking for next year, 9-3. What Houston just did.
There you go. ECU and Florida Atlantic. Oh, you went with Florida Atlantic. You got in front of the freight train known as my Pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable.
42-3. Blowouts with the road teams in that early window. The early window,
dude, this was awful. 42-3 at halftime.
Yeah, this is god awful.
Hey, I know we're a gimmick ass team, but 8-4, I'll take it. Let's go.
Well, and now you have other coaches back.
I do not believe Rutgers would be in the hunt in the Big 12. I do not believe that.
Fuck no. What are you talking about?
I don't believe that, Jeff.
They'd be in the bottom half. They suck.
Look, the Big 10 is better than the Big 12 because of your super elite teams. I'm not going to argue that, but I disagree with you thinking Rutgers is in the hunt in the Big 12. I don't think so. Shout out to my Pirates getting it done. Then how about this game? I did take Sam Houston here. Willie Simmons, man, 56-16. 56-16.
What a year. 7-5.
That's a great year one. Dude, we knew he was a good hire.
Looked it right away.
Yeah.
Oh my God. People are saying Rutgers is the same as K-State. Jesus Christ.
No.
No.
K-State. No. I mean, this year K-State's down, but I would still take K-State.
Whip Rutgers. Sorry ass still. Rutgers is fucking terrible.
Rutgers is never a threat to beat anybody good.
Yeah.
Anybody good. I mean, maybe 07 with that one year. K-State's a much better program. And I think I don't have to look that far. Look at the NFL players that K-State's produced.
Yeah.
Rutgers has never produced players like
Rutgers
that.
Rutgers is fucking terrible.
Yeah. I mean, shit, Ohio State just won a national championship with K-State's quarterback. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
We'll see if you can do that again. FIU, great season. We were all over that over. Let's go. We locked up this. There's a little dust up, a little dust up on the 50-yard line. Did you catch this drama?
No, I didn't. Was this at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Already ran it up on Walden?
Well, there's a story behind this. So Walden was super pissed that Delaware scored. I think they kicked a field goal to go up to 61. But they were planning to walk it off, and Walden called timeout.
Hilarious.
So that's why both sides, two sides to every story here. But Delaware says, well, they called timeout. They want to keep playing. Why not score?
Play, baby. Play to the final whistle.
61-31. And shout out to Delaware for bowling. Them and Missouri State are going bowling because of there wasn't enough teams. So let's go. Let's go. This we cashed, man. We cashed on both those FCS teams jumping up.
They did a great job this year, both of them.
Yeah.
Both should be in bowl games. Yes.
Shout out to all right. Is Walden fired? UTEP is bad, man. They're in the Mountain West. I love the Mountain West grabbing Northern Illinois and UTEP. Not the best years leading into the Mountain West. He might get one more year because this was year 2, but man, there was no indicator that, if anything, I think they got worse from year 1 to year 2. You agree?
Yeah, they're gimmicky as hell. Them and Sam Houston are fucking awful, those two. Every time I watch them, like, good God, no thank you. I'm not watching these two again.
Then we had this, man. I was feeling so good. We're up 14-0. 14-0. And we're getting 17.5. So we're up 31-0.
This is ridiculous. This is when I knew the chalk was
and we don't cover.
This is when I knew the chalk was feasting early. When BYU covered, I go, oh, come on.
Come on, man. This was brutal. 41-21. BYU goes 11-1. They still get zero respect. Zero respect.
Yeah, people don't even mention BYU as a good team. They just go 11-1 again.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing is like, at what point do you have to like? Okay, at what point do you just say enough's enough? Like, how many years in a row do they have to do this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they win close games because that's kind of their style of play. But they're a good football team. They don't beat themselves, and they had a freshman quarterback this year. This is an unbelievable job. They lose Retzlaff. Bachmeier comes in. Boom, 11-1. Sataki, I saw he's flirting with that Penn State job.
And this will remind people that although if Georgia was to play BYU, I would take Georgia. But I will say BYU has played almost double the amount of road games as them.
Okay. Would they be favored? But how many times have we seen?
Well, football shouldn't be what if.
Yeah.
Football should be play it on the fucking field.
Yeah.
I hate fucking people that. So who mentioned this the other day? Some fucking talking head was like, Notre Dame would be a 14-point favorite over BYU.
Okay, give me the points of BYU then.
Okay, well, why play the games, right? Super Bowl III, the most famous fucking Super Bowl, right? I think in NFL history, the AFC, if you don't know the history on that, the AFC was potentially going to fold, right? And Broadway Joe knocks off Johnny Unitas. Unbelievable, right? I mean, there's a million of these fucking examples you can do. Boise State, Oklahoma, Fiesta Bowl, right? Like, the point is 11-1. Anybody that goes 11-1
seriously
should play in the playoffs, in my opinion.
Yep.
And the playoffs should be big enough where it covers every single. If you have 136 teams, any fucking team that goes 11-1, I don't care if it's the CUSA, you should be playing in the postseason. I can't harp that enough. You deserve the postseason. That is excellence. That is fucking excellence. Anyway.
Yeah. They just hate BYU because it's a different way of doing things. They're good, man. It's a good football team.
Yeah. Georgia Southern is taking on Marshall. Was taking on Marshall. This one was disappointing.
Unbelievable.
Didn't the bet detective take Southern?
Yeah.
I think he did.
You got him.
Clay Helton is. I think if you're a Southern fan, you actually wanted to lose this game because Helton's probably coming back. They fired the whole defensive staff. That's the problem. Sure. Yeah. At some point, it matters who you play. Okay, but like also, it matters how many times you go on the road. The hardest thing to do in the sport is win on the road, without question. I believe that to be true. I think most coaches would tell you that. At least when I've interviewed a lot of them, I feel like they'll say that. Well, why do you have such a discrepancy? Road games. Right. Okay. We know I just told you, I think the Big 10's better than the Big 12 right? As a conference, they have better, but it's still, if you hit the road double the times, then that to me means something.
I thought we were talking about, but I thought people were trashing BYU because I was getting ready to read off BYU's resume. Like ECU, you just went over it. They went 8-4. They went in there and fucking beat ECU by 3 touchdowns. They won at Arizona, 9-win team.
They went across the country, by the way, for that.
Yeah. They went to Iowa State and won by double digits. That's an 8-win team. Cincinnati, another 7-win team. They had one loss in Lubbock, which is a hard place to play on College game day. They're good, man. They're good.
Yeah. I will. I will close my ears with the Redskins game.
I just covered. I covered. That's all I wanted. I thought I was getting ready for dude. There's no college basketball on. I was like, all right, I'll fucking dip into the Redskins game here. I wish college hoops had a game. I would have bet on that. I'd be watching that over my sorry ass Redskins right now.
Yeah. La Tech, Missouri State, man. How about La Tech pulling this one out 42-30? Dude, he lives on. Whether it's Helton, whether it's Cumbie, I look forward to fading him next year.
7-5.
This game was awesome. This next one, the Tops in Jacksonville State. I watched this whole game. This was a great football game. No one is arguing BYU isn't good.
No, maybe not in this chat, but on the national media.
No, but what was it? What was your point then, dude? I thought you were saying at some point the schedule matters, right? To me, like 11-1 is it needs to be a big enough playoff where if anyone goes 11-1, because here's another thing with conferences going to 9 games, which I'm in favor that we should all be on the same level with your Power 5 conferences, but it also means that the scheduling will become less and less where you schedule a JMU. I mean, JMU here's a perfect example. In 2011, I think it was, you'd have to double check this, 10 or 11, JMU beat Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech. And they were top 10, right? JMU was still in FCS, but JMU had future games against them scheduled, and Virginia Tech canceled them all. Virginia Tech also canceled East Carolina's series. East Carolina beat them, I think, 3 times in like a 5-year stretch or 6-year stretch. Virginia Tech canceled that series. There's a bunch of examples of this throughout the sport, right? So you can't get that game on the schedule, right? Whether, for some of these programs, it's very hard to get that game on the schedule. So to me, if you go 11-1 in any conference, you are worthy of the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
You are worthy of a postseason playoff. All right. If that means you want to have play-in games because you got a 3-week break, if you want JMU to play North Texas, whatever, have a fucking big enough playoff where they can do that, because you have been excellent all fucking year. Yeah. Or all right, giving us $20. Thank you, man. At least have the conferences do play-in games. I'm willing to work. Okay, if you want to keep a 12 or 16 team playoff, well, then this weekend, instead of the conference championship, Vanderbilt should be playing Oklahoma for the right to play in the playoffs. Instead of us seeing Alabama, Georgia, because who cares? Give us Vanderbilt at Georgia. I'm sorry, Vanderbilt at Oklahoma or Oklahoma at Vanderbilt. Winner is in the playoffs.
Yeah, Miami versus Virginia.
Or Miami versus Duke. Right.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I think Georgia Tech also feels robbed too, right? Because Georgia Tech is the same record as Miami, right?
Yeah.
So have Georgia Tech. We have time to do this. I don't understand the rush. It's like we have time to do this. So, yeah, Virgil, me and you see eye to eye. I've been arguing that shit for fucking 15 years. All right, that is exactly the perfect bracket to me. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, JMU still scheduled Washington State. I mean, I know they don't qualify as a Power 5 anymore, but it's like, okay, they played at Louisville and Washington State. In the Louisville game, they were up a lot of that game. JMU goes 11-1, and it's not their fault the Sun Belt was down some. You know what I mean? I think they were worthy of a postseason. Shout out to Jacksonville State, by the way, for winning this game. Walk-off field goal. They're hosting the CUSA Championship against Kennesaw. Should be a fun one. Old Dominion caps off a great season, 9-win season. It's a shame in a way. You kind of think they're the second best team in the conference, but they still have divisions. and JMU did stick it to him on the field. So tough luck, better luck next year. But great season, 9 wins. Build on that. Ricky Ronnie surprised. Hey, Arkansas, Ricky Ronnie. Oh my God, that's the one, Mac. Ricky Ronnie would have killed it in Arkansas. I thought I'd be so more excited as if you're an Arkansas fan if you got Ricky Ronnie and Ryan Silverfield.
You know they would never do that because his record's not sexy enough. But yeah, Ricky Ronnie, Old Dominion, a great year, 9-3 here.
Yeah. I lost on this. This was Heartbreak Hotel, and man, Dow Loggins first year. Butch Jones survives. Him and Clay Helton, you referenced it. 30-29. They're going to be in the Jimmy Chonga Bowl or some shit now. But shout out to the Red Wolves for getting to bowl eligibility. I didn't think they would be bowling this year. So to their credit, they made me look stupid. I thought they'd go 5-7, I think. And App State, you hit my win total over though at 4.5. So thank you in that regard. Shout out to Roly Poly giving us $20. Appreciate the hard work you guys put in week out. Best college football show out there, hands down. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the donation, man.
Cheers, brother.
Yeah, BC Syracuse. You guys are right on this. I didn't bet this, but I took Syracuse.
They fucked them up.
I took Syracuse 34-12 final. BC gets that second win of the season. This is some dead weight in the ACC, but I'll say this: Syracuse, I actually believe would have been if Steve Angeli plays this season. I think they're a bowl team.
Fair,
but here's the problem: you got to get depth. That's a big failure on Fran Brown and them for not having a more capable backup quarterback. Because I watch the FCS every fucking week. There are guys that are much better than Ricky Collins. That's on you a little bit. So as much as I'm saying, I think they would have been a bowl team if Angeli stays healthy, you should still have a better fucking backup. I mean, Ole Miss, this is where I give Kiffin credit. He went out to Fair State and brought in Trinidad Chambliss to be the backup. Smart. Yeah.
Now it's one and gone.
Best show, even with the SEC hating. I'm hating on the Big Ten more personally.
Fuck the SEC and Big Ten. I'll say.
I mean, the SEC's got to go to the 9 games, though, man. Play it. Yeah. And let me ask you this, Bobby. The committee is on record saying November wins matter more than September wins. So why should you be allowed to play an FCS or even Charlotte on week 13? Why should they be allowed to do that? If they've told us, the committee's told us, wins are more valuable in November, then how can they not be penalized for that? You should at least be penalized for that then, right? I mean, come on here. And I tend to think the SEC is probably the deepest conference this league. I feel confident, but I think the Big Ten has the more elite teams, but I think it's getting closer than people realize. I do. You've seen Texas Tech come up with a shit ton of money. Kansas got a $300 million donation. I think it's getting. There's some ACC teams that I think are taking football a lot more seriously than previously when they were coasting, and I think it's leading for more parity. So I think it's a good thing overall, and I don't know that that's there to stay. I don't know that that's there to stay. We'll see. As far as them being the most dominant conference, because I do think the Big Ten schools have a shit ton of money, right? And we'll see about the other schools, but I'm intrigued about the future. Next up, we have Middle Tennessee. Hey, our boy, we gotta talk about this. First off, I took Middle Tennessee.
Big win.
I don't know if you guys did. I think you guys didn't, right?
We set off. We were bitter from that phony cover against Sam Houston.
Well, how about our boy also in the chat?
Touchdown.
Landon Collins getting his first start of his career. I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name, the gentleman in the chat that listens to us. But his cousin is Landon Collins. He told us he was getting his first start of his life, college football, and he went 5 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown. So please, if you can, pass on to your cousin, our best wishes and tell him keep it up, man. That's got to feel good, man. He was their top receiver. Let's go. Next up, we have ULM. This game, it was a classic again. Doesn't matter the records, but Michael Desmoreau, he finds a way to go bowling, and I think he's safe.
Yeah.
30-27. They win in overtime. Yeah. Fun game as always. This one, I couldn't believe the outcome. I had money on Tulsa. So did you see like 30 players for UAB didn't play?
Yes.
They were using like the walk-ons, and they beat Tulsa at Tulsa.
The replacement game, like the Redskins Cowboys.
Yes. Unbelievable. You get the fuck out of here with this. I can't believe I lost this game. Hey, I'm with Cosmo in the chat. You would like Mike Leach. I don't think ever said this publicly.
It would be great.
But Mike Leach, when we were hanging out in his office, he was explaining that we should have a 64 team playoff. Right? He firmly believes this. He was not being funny. He believed that we should have a 64 team playoff, just like college basketball. Right? And he was like 16, 17 games. He had an answer for everything. This is well thought out by Mike Leach. Right? He drew it out on a piece of paper and shit. And he believed in that. But he also believed we should have the remaining teams, which I think he had it all figured out. I don't know, 68 teams or 66 at the time. This was 2019, I think, when he was telling me this. And he's like, they should all play in a playoff. And we should get football all the way until February. And I'll be honest, I always thought we should have a 32 team playoff. He kind of sold me on this because he was like, yeah, who doesn't want to play more football? He was like, the 68 teams that miss the playoffs, you play in a tournament, and the team that wins, proves a point that they should have been a part of the other playoff. And he goes, but who suffers? We get more football games, right? The world's in a better spot because we're getting more football. You're playing more football. And I said, you're a fucking genius. Where are you at? Where are you at with 64 team playoff and then a 68 team playoff?
Too much. I like the 24. I think the 24 is perfect.
32 is perfect.
I think 24 is the mathematically the same equivalent of what college basketball is.
But you're not. But if you have your 10 conference champs, then you're only putting in 14. So I think 32. If you do the 10 conference champs, then it gives you more leeway to put in the next 22 best teams.
I think at that point though you're treading on losing record teams in conference play, like in basketball. The SEC would all of a sudden in Big Ten would be like
22 teams. So you're basically taking the top 22 teams. Or yeah, I guess there'd be a couple that would be outside of that, right? So you're taking, I don't know, but I just think that's a big enough net to counterbalance the corruption. To me, you say 24.
24. I like the FCS.
They're never going to do what they're never going to do the top 10 conferences with 24 though in the FBS.
No, they won't. But I think I like 24. 32 is a lot.
I mean, every other division does 32 besides FCS. FCS does 24, and they're thinking about going to 32. So, 64 is too many. I'm just telling you, I thought that was my first reaction, but Leach had this thing mapped out in paper, and he was like, who wouldn't want this? And I was like, I mean, you're kind of selling me. There's a lot more football games to watch then, and I love football. So you got a point there. How would you feel about you want 24, Mac? Would you like a 24 losers bracket?
Basically the bowl games. Yeah. Absolutely.
But the bowl game, but your winner advances. I think that's what sucks about a bowl game.
What would be the incentive? Would this be like the Crown, NIL,
or NIT? I mean, so I don't know, but I like it.
Yeah, I'd be all for a secondary bracket too. It's more games to watch and gamble on.
With 24. See, I think 32. I think 32 is the perfect number for me. I've talked about this for a lot of years. So, anyway, next up, no, we didn't talk about that one. South Alabama lost to Texas State. Texas State's bowling, so they figured that out. They
finally got to it.
Yeah. Why 32 is nuts. Every other level, D2, D3, they all do that shit. It's not nuts. It's not nuts. This game, oh man.
Damn, Oklahoma or LSU needed Lane Kiffin. They should have fucking won this game.
Oh my god, dude. I thought this was rigged.
Fucking
How do you have that bust? How do you have that bust on that play when he's Mateer had put he had done no damage really in the air. They had that one screen press that broke. But how do you have that bust? It made me think I was like, they rigged this. They're giving this to Oklahoma. Because that was just so, he was so wide open. He was just so wide open. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. Your thoughts?
I don't think Oklahoma's one of the 12 best teams, but they earned their way with their resume. So, yeah, to the crowd, put the 12 best teams in it. Does anybody think Oklahoma is? I don't. But they earned their way to the college football playoff.
I'll push back on the people, though. I like a good defensive team. I think I saw Danny Cannell tweet out, who wants to see this offense? Well, I was like, well, I want to see the defense. What about that?
Yeah. I just don't think Mateer's played very well.
No, you're right. But at the same time,
coming back from the injury,
they went into Bama and won. Why couldn't they go into another place and win? So
yep. Yeah, no, they earned their way. I don't think they're one of the 12 best teams, but they earned it on the field.
Yeah.
Not a hypothetical 14-point spread against BYU. What would they be? Hopefully they play BYU because BYU would beat them like they beat them in 09.
There we go.
Yeah.
Jeff Sharp saying there's probably 4 to 5 teams this season that have a little. I'd be curious if you list those 4 or 5, Jeff. Because I disagree. And he says in 10 years, if the gap is spending gets dispersed, I could entertain more teams. I think that's how you do it, though. By opening it up to more is how you get more money in. You get my point? Like, if teams know they have a legit shot and the deck's not stacked against them, I think you get more boosters and more NIL and more companies that want to throw money into it because it's more exciting because they have a chance. You know what I mean? But I also think this year, I'd be curious where you say the 4 or 5 teams are. Do you say, is Alabama a team that could, Jeff? I mean, I would assume you're saying Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia,
A&M, Alabama. Is that?
I don't know.
Is that the fight everybody's saying?
Because I think Notre Dame could beat any of those teams. I think, I think Oregon could potentially beat any of those teams.
Texas Tech could beat any of those teams.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree, but I mean you're entitled to your opinion, obviously.
I think Vandy could beat any of those teams
on any set, especially right now. I feel like, I really believe that. I mean, right now, if you're telling me who's the last team in the playoff right now besides the group of 5. I mean, we don't know that, but I'm saying, is it Notre Dame? I think it's Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
So if Notre Dame played,
they'll probably win it all. Watch.
Well, I think they could. I really do. I think the car's getting better with each given week. The resume is not great. Vandy's got a better resume easily to me.
Yeah.
But I think your 11th ranked team is a serious contender to win the Natty. So, yeah. Oklahoma, I mean, if Oklahoma's a dangerous team, just because their defense is that good, it will keep them in every game. So, but I would be curious, who do you think the 4 or 5 teams are, Jeff? I'm not saying that as attackingly. I'm saying that just because I'm curious. So in the future, we can talk about this as it goes along, right? Shout out to the Sooners. They made the plays. Thought it was rigged. Wake Forest Duke, I cashed. But I did cash on LSU, by the way. I had LSU in the points. I also had Duke.
And they're in.
1 win, baby. I love it. I love that Manny Diaz is in this conference championship before you had Rhett Lashley last year. You had Manny Diaz this year. They were both on the same staff before Cristobal have played in the ACC championship. A lot of people have problems with the format. I think each conference, I don't agree with putting it where the ranking should be because the rankings are corrupt. Now, do I think Miami would beat Duke? I would probably pick them to beat Duke if if they're playing each other, but
yeah,
I also think Duke's capable of beating them. So, Duke is to me a very talented team. They haven't figured it out really all year. They've been very inconsistent, but I think they're okay. Jeff listed. I'm sorry, buddy. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas Tech, Notre Dame, Georgia, and maybe Oregon. So no Alabama, no Oklahoma, no A&M. This will be fun to watch because I'm intrigued to see if this works. No Vandy. Okay. I would love to see Vandy, Indiana. I would love to see that fucking game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pavia.
Yeah. Your thoughts on Duke in the ACC Championship?
Hilarious. They lost the right games. They did what Narduzzi wanted to do, backdoored their way in here. So, I thought they were dead after they lost that Virginia game, but they got the scenarios. They got the win from Cal, 7-5, despite having 3 non-con losses to Tulane, UConn, and Illinois. They find themselves 1 game away from a bid or a James Madison bid.
I don't believe they're ever going to put James Madison.
Did you see the odds today?
Yeah, but I think that look, I hope they put JMU in.
They should.
You know me. I will be arguing on their behalf. They will not. There's too much money tied into their deals, their TV deals. They will. I guarantee you. I will guarantee you they put Duke in. I will bet serious money. Hey, what do you think about Carolina in basketball last year? They weren't even close to the bubble. They were like, no, they're in.
Yeah, but
I guarantee you they'll take the ACC champ over the Sun Belt champ at 11-1.
If they had 4 losses, maybe. But
especially because the Sun Belt was shit.
They have 5 losses.
JMU has how many wins against teams with winning record? It's ODU and who?
I'd have to look at their schedule. Troy,
I'm telling you.
If they win this week.
Yeah, so you'd have Troy. You don't have much, dude. I'm telling you, they're not going to do this. We saw this years ago with Marshall when they did this, right? They're not going to put them in. I guarantee you they
have
will
a
not.
bunch of wins against 6-6 teams.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that doesn't help.
Wazoo 6-6 as well.
That's what I'm saying. They have no real wins. They're not going to put them. I don't even think they're considering them, dude.
I don't know how you put Duke in.
Look, I'm not saying that I would do that. I'm saying they're not even taking it fucking serious. Jeff in the chat, did you guys watch the line of scrimmage? Total down. Yeah. What are you getting at? We did.
Yeah, we said that.
They dominated Michigan.
We said they kicked their ass.
I'm confused by the comment. Shout out to R. Wright giving us $10. Thoughts on Duke and Troy winning would do to CFP?
Well, if Duke and Troy win, then it's definitely not even.
Here's the funniest fucking thing. I think if they put Duke in, if the corruption is there, like I think it is, which I think historically I'm always right about this, they will always put the power schools in. Here's what's hilarious. So if Duke got the second, they might get the 12 seed. If Duke got the 12 seed and they're playing, I don't know. I mean, I guess who would be I don't know. Whoever we deem it to be at the 5 spot. I still think they're capable of winning. I wouldn't favor them, but I still think Duke's team is. I'll go back to what I said at ACC Media Days. I talked to an NFL scout who was actually kind of in love with Duke's roster. He said, he quoted I think 5 guys or 6 guys that he thinks are NFL guys. I know off the top of my head, it was the safety Terry Moore, their corner Chandler Rivers. He said he thinks is a 1st-round draft pick. Now this was back in July. He thought Mensa's eventually going to be a 1st-round draft pick. The DN Wesley Williams, there's a D tackle that I'm drawing a blank on too that he thought would be in the NFL. So even with all that, I think they would be a dangerous team to play. I think they'd be a dangerous team to play. So, I almost want that to happen. I almost want that to happen just so we could just have total chaos.
What if it's A&M and they're playing Elko?
I think they could give them a game. I really do. I really think they could give them a game. Now, they could also lose by 21 because Duke has been all over the fucking place. Go back and watch that Duke Illinois game or Duke Georgia Tech. I was listening to ESPN idiots last night. They're like, yeah, and they're making fun of the ACC and they're like, Georgia Tech dominated Duke. And I'm like, I was at that game. I did not get the feeling that Georgia Tech dominated Duke at all. Now, the scoreboard reflected it at the end, but I thought that was a pretty fucking even game. If anything, I kind of thought Duke played better than them.
I think JMU would give the 5 seed a better game than Duke. I think JMU is pretty fucking good. I
do too, but I don't think JMU's got 5 or 6 players that'll be on the NFL roster. So that's the only thing I would say is like, if that scout that I was talking to at ACC Media Days was correct, I could see that, being
no, but JMU also just has half of the Indiana team.
That's true. Look, like, JMU's culture is incredible. Look, I want JMU in. For the record, I would much rather have JMU in than Duke. But I will say, like, Duke's a weird team this year. Go back and watch the tape on their losses. They're fucking weird. Like the Illinois game, didn't they have like 500 yards of offense and they lost that game? Yeah, I thought they did. I thought they had something crazy where they just kept fumbling. They're a strange team though. Anyway, Missouri and Arkansas. Petrino road rash face couldn't do it.
God, I can't believe you didn't win one game. You covered all those games. You couldn't win one.
Yeah.
And now they're fucked because they have Silverfield.
Yep.
So what did Missouri finish this year? 8-4.
Still didn't beat a good team, right? All right, giving us $20. You guys are going to explode if JMU loses, Duke wins, and UNLV wins at Boise, and UNLV makes the CFP.
Oh, stop it.
What about Navy? They wouldn't. You're right. They would take.
Oh, you got to be conference champ. I didn't even think about UNLV.
That is fucking. And Boise's ever since Boise doesn't have Maddox Madsen, their quarterback play is so bad. I actually think UNLV is going to win that game, dude.
I'm gonna fucking freak out if you want.
Well, they're calling for rain though. That might help us.
Yeah.
But I kind of think UNLV is better than Boise right now with all the injuries. Mullen takes him to the playoffs in year 1. Oh my God. I almost want that to happen.
I don't want to.
Well, just for the comedy of the show.
Make me barf. Fucking you shouldn't even have won at Miami of Ohio or fucking Wyoming this 2 game or what was the other game? Air Force or Utah State. Oh, all those games. You shouldn't even beat Idaho State.
Rutgers.
They fought. They tried.
Dude, they should have hit that fumble. Was everything.
Yeah, I know.
It should have hit. My point on Rutgers here is this. Okay, these are Rutgers wins. Ohio in a game they basically went on a block punt. That's a good win. That was a good win. I mean, I actually thought Ohio.
Win of the year.
Well, they beat Miami, Ohio, but Miami, Ohio was terrible then. Early in the year, Miami, Ohio looked like shit. But that's actually, I think, their best win. I don't really think Miami, Ohio is that good of a team. I think Ohio is actually good. Then they beat Norfolk State, who is winless against FCS opponents. Their one win was in overtime against a D2 team. Then they beat Purdue by a field goal. And remember this game?
Yeah, he celebrated like he won the Super Bowl.
Well, because the play that they won on, they were getting their ass beat all game, and they won on some crazy voodoo. Then they beat Maryland 35-20. I mean, this team almost went bowling. That's my point, man. They beat nobody. Ohio is the game I'll give them. I'll give them Ohio. And that was a crazy game.
Penn State bowling.
Yeah, I mean
they were 3-6, preseason number 1 or whatever they were, and they're Find a way to get to a bowl.
Yeah, going back to Jeff here, doesn't the ACC champ earn a spot? No, it's just the top conferences, top 5 conferences. So it doesn't necessarily say that the power conference gets an auto bid. That's why it's hilarious. Is if it's the top ranked team. So like if JMU is ranked ahead of Duke, JMU would get in along with Tulane or North Texas. Theoretically, I refuse to believe they'll do that, but that's what their fine print says. Shout out to Penn State for getting to a bowl. This was easy money. How easy was this fucking money? TCU smashed Cincinnati. Cincinnati is such a phony team. Your thoughts?
Yeah. TCU rolled. Cincinnati fool's gold. 8-4. I mean, that's another solid year for Sonny Dykes. They seem to be just a solid program around that 8-win mark with the outlier of going to the Natty and then the one bad year after that. But I mean, Dykes is doing a good job.
Yeah. That catch was insane, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know.
That is maybe the best catch I've ever seen. It's right up there. That was incredible. Blatant pictures saying Duke was -6.5 and they covered by a half point. Yeah, I mean Duke's a weird team. I don't know how to look. I will say they probably don't deserve to be in the playoffs, sure. But the conference is the conference. You know what I mean? They no one's gonna know that conference schedule. I actually thought coming into the year that their conference schedule was a little harder than we knew Virginia's was easy. We knew Virginia had a shot to get to the ACC championship. But you don't know how some of these teams are going to pan out. So I thought at the time, Duke would make a bowl, but I didn't think they would sniff the championship because of their conference play was too hard. I was wrong, but I think they're just a weird team though, because if they have that many NFL guys like that guy was telling me, I mean, and I believe I actually believe Mensah is like a top 10 quarterback in college football. So like, I do believe they could be a dangerous draw. They could be a dangerous draw. That's all I'll say. Shout out to TCU, Oregon, Washington. Washington, they made it close late, like 9-minute mark, but
there's chances.
Yeah. Shout out to the Ducks for going into a rival's nest and getting the dub.
I mean that third and long play where the Benson kid just takes it to the house, puts it in a different gear. That's a hell of a year for Oregon, 11-1. We thought they were going to take a step back. No, this is a good program.
True. I mean, I the schedule wasn't amazing, but at the same time, you're right. I mean, they beat USC. They beat. I thought Washington would be better this year.
Yeah,
kind of thought they'd be better.
They won hard road. They give credit on winning hard road games at Washington.
I thought for sure they would lose at Iowa. Yeah. So
yep.
The Ducks have been better than I thought they would be. 100%. Shout out to Dan Lanning. Then we had this game. The piss was flowing. Vanderbilt. Here's why the 12-team playoff sucks. It's an invitational, A. B, Vanderbilt's going to get fucked out of the playoffs only because they're not the name brand the other ones are. Vanderbilt deserves to be in the playoffs. I would say this. If you're looking at the whole season, Vanderbilt has been consistently good the whole year, where I feel like certain other teams have had moments where they looked shaky and they came back. That's why I believe Vanderbilt should be in the playoffs. I also think they have a better resume than Notre Dame. But I have a feeling Vanderbilt will not be in the playoffs. It sucks. So they're 10-2 and they've been consistently good the whole fucking year, man. Alabama the second half. The first half I thought they played better than Alabama. The second half it got them. For 2 quarters there, they didn't play good. And then in the Texas game, I thought that it was the opposite. I thought the first half they played awful. Second half they played pretty good, specifically the fourth quarter. But if they just Texas one, I think is more like the Alabama one. I thought was more like Texas one. They got their ass whooped, and then they tried to dress it up. Alabama game, I actually think they went toe for toe, and just like a fumble here, a tip pass there. I think they should be a playoff team, man. I think they should be a fucking playoff team. I think they're one of the 12 best teams in the country. If you're asking yourself that, they're one of the 12 best teams in the country. And I can't see anyone telling me otherwise. Like, just watching them week in, week out.
Yep.
I think they're one of the 12 best teams. You?
And they've gotten better throughout the year. I mean, I see everybody saying that Vandy would be one and done. Based off what? Based off what? They just went to Tennessee and fucking beat their ass by 3 scores.
Like, I don't know if Oklahoma is one of the 12 best teams. I don't think I would. Like, Vanderbilt, I believe, is one of the 12 best teams.
They have the best player in college football. They have the best. I am so sick of this Pavia, like, anti-Pavia crowd. The guy's in the top 10 in passing yards and passing touchdowns. That doesn't even equate to what he does well, and that's keep plays alive. He almost rushed for 1,000 yards on top of all these numbers and 10 rushing touchdowns.
They play fucking hard and they're balanced. I feel like they're just a complete team to me. If maybe they're missing, like, I mean, I don't know. I think they're a complete team. Like, you maybe like get it more explosive wideout, but I still think I think they're neck and neck, like one of the more impressive teams. Like, they are who are they battling with? BYU.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame, Miami. See, like, if it's up to Vanderbilt or Miami, to me, without question, I'll put Vanderbilt in.
Vanderbilt. If it's between Vanderbilt and Notre Dame, how the fuck is Notre Dame?
The resume is better. Yeah. Even though Notre Dame's balling out the past few weeks, the competition they've been playing is trash. So it's hard to look at that and say, okay, Vanderbilt's been balling out, man. They deserve to be in the fucking playoffs. They really deserve to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
To rob them would be fucking criminal. It'd be fucking criminal because, like, I question the whole committee then if they're looking at this and telling me they're not one of the 12 best teams. I just refuse to believe it.
Yeah, if he doesn't win the Heisman and they don't make the playoff either or, like, it's a joke. He's the best player in college football. He's the most valuable player in college football. I've been saying it all fucking year.
And it's the best story. This is a guy that played at fucking New Mexico military.
Yes.
Taking a team to 10-2. So you'd be killing your Cinderella. Your Cinderella story is this. I mean, yes, Signetti in Indiana's got a Cinderella story, and the Tulane or North Texas or JMU or whatever would be a Cinderella story. But this one, they could actually win the national championship. Do I think they would? No, but it's possible. It's possible because they've been playing at a really high level all year. It's possible.
They've got road wins. They've got 2 losses on the year. 1-score games at Alabama and at Texas. Or I guess the Alabama one ended up not being one because Alabama dressed it up.
Well, that's the irony, is like the Texas one, I feel like Vanderbilt dressed up, and the Alabama game was one that I actually think the first half, I thought Vanderbilt completely outplayed Alabama. The second half, it was just a couple plays, man. I think if you play that game again, Vanderbilt can beat Alabama. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas the Texas one, I thought they dressed that up. So that's the irony, is the score, the discrepancy there. But
and I would push back on the eye test crowd with Notre Dame. Yes, Notre Dame looks good. Did they go into Rocky Top, Knoxville, one of the best home field advantages, and just completely rip their soul out and dominate their ass in the trenches in the second half? No. Like, that was the most impressive win of the weekend, I would say, because it was on the road at a rival. Top 20 team.
Yeah. It's just criminal to think that they're going to keep Vandy out, man. I disagree. Some of the other teams like Notre Dame had a point this season. They didn't look that good. Now they looked like a good team. Like, they looked like a team that, like the Notre Dame Texas A&M game, they went toe for toe. Notre Dame lost the fucking game. Tough break. But I will say Notre Dame did not look good with the Miami game, even though they almost came back as Cristobal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I didn't think Notre Dame played a great game that game. Everything was checked down. Shout out to Rob Donaldson. $20. How is the most popular college sport has the worst postseason? This will forever baffle me. College football needs something to match March Madness. Well, that's what we're getting at, man. It's just progress. 12 teams is way better than 4. The The biggest progress we've made besides 12-4 is home campuses. Because college football has something that is unique, that is better than anything sports in the world. And they have legendary stadiums that have been there 100 years, awesome atmospheres, everything about it. Like a game at Neyland right now. I know Tennessee's not making the playoffs this year, but the more we showcase that, the more the sport will thrive. It's amazing that to your point, Rob, that they've neglected that for so long. When it's like, can you imagine these campuses right now? Vanderbilt's going to get fucked over. Miami might get fucked over. Or Notre Dame might get fucked over, or BYU. Imagine all those places. Now Miami, obviously their crowd's not great ever since they left the Orange Bowl, but you could start the next fan base. So 20 years from now, that's never a problem, right? BYU, come on, you play a game at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. Who loses here? Who doesn't want that game? They went 11-1. They deserve that, right? I'm not even saying they would host, but I'm just saying any of these venues, Oxford, fucking incredible. Give them a home playoff game. That's awesome. They need more of that. Showcase what it is that is awesome about college football. And that's some of it. A good portion of it.
And I will say, when they played LSU and Missouri, Vandy, they both were 6-1 and they both were ranked in the top 15. LSU was ranked 10th when they played them. That was the start of the Brian Kelly downfall and them quitting on the season. So they didn't catch teams at the right time. They just beat the fuck out of them at the right time.
Yeah, Iron Bowl, absolutely.
Just like
awesome.
South Carolina. South Carolina was ranked 11th when they played them, and they beat the shit out of them in Columbia.
Yeah. What
it is. It sucks.
They need to fix that. Thanks for the donation. But blatant pictures. Yeah, I kind of already said this, man. I mean, the perfect number for me would be 32. I've always said that. I've said that for 20 years. So I just think you have to cast a big enough net, not only from the corruption on the committee, but the corruption on the scheduling. We've talked about this before on the show, like Arkansas or Iowa State getting 3 straight away games. That shit never happens to Michigan, Ohio State. They barely even get 2 away games in a row. Like once every 5 years, if you do a deep dive on it. During COVID, I went through all this shit, man. During COVID, I was so bored. I was just like pulling up all this shit, and I was noticing these trends. And I was like, man, a lot of these teams get fucked schedule-wise. It's completely unfair that the conferences will deem out their shittiest teams 3 straight away games. So to me, you got to counterbalance that, and you got to counterbalance the corruption within the committee, which is historic. I don't need to give you examples. It's all there for you. I mean, there's a lot. You'll get more this year if Vandy doesn't go. Shout out to the Doors, though. Pavia said that they were going to win that game. Muhammad Ali style. He said that shit back in, or Broadway Joe style, whatever. And they got it done. So this game was awesome. Wisconsin, Minnesota for the Axe in a snowstorm. Fucking awesome game. Football 101 here. Shout out to Minnesota. I cashed on this. So, your thoughts on this one?
Wisconsin 4-8, year 3 of Fickle now.
Yeah,
not very good.
He's back, baby.
Good one for the Gophers.
This game, oh my god,
this hurt.
One of the biggest collapses ever.
Lost 3 in a row.
Down the stretch. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Kidding me, man.
I had so much money. I mean, at least they hit the win total over, but I had them to make the Sun Belt Championship. I had a ticket for them to win the Sun Belt Championship. All they needed was one win the final 3 games and playing some shit competition in 2 of them. You bums. Unbelievable. Kennesaw beat Liberty.
9 wins. Jerry Mack.
Yeah, he's being. I see Mullen and Mack being thrown around for the Memphis job. Mack's from Memphis, so that would be a fucking slam dunk, right?
Yeah, that'd be such an upgrade as a coach.
Seriously, Chadwell, you wonder.
What the fuck?
This
is one of the greatest mysteries. What happened to Liberty in 2025?
Yeah. Then we had this. How about Jeff Monken's bunch? You never had a loss at the Alamo Dome? He reminded you never played a triple option team at the Alamo Dome with your little foo shit. So shout out to the Black Knights. You said there was a dust up?
Oh yeah, Trailer and Monken got into it after the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Over what?
I don't know, something with like the bands or something, like singing their alma mater. UTSA was pissed that Army was standing behind. It's like, fuck off, UTSA, you little fuck.
UTSA build a stadium on campus, you fucking losers. All
Yeah,
right,
fuck off.
Playing at the goddamn NBA arena.
Blow your heads off. This is a fucking Army you're fucking talking to. Yeah, fuck you. Black Knights going bowling, baby. Let's go.
Love it.
And they're gonna beat Navy. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Let's go, Black Knights. JMU destroyed Coastal. It's part of the reason why Tim Beck's fired. Bloodbath. Shout out to Bob Chesney and JMU. I was all over Florida. You clowns took Saudi Arabia State.
The fuck was the point of this contract extension? They're not even going to play for him.
I'm like, wait a second. And this goes back to my question here. Alabama, and I know someone in the chat asked me this earlier, and I apologize. I forgot about it. I want them to win the Natty in a way. Well, especially if Vanderbilt doesn't get in there, or if I would love Cincinnati to win it too. I think it'd be great for just his Ric Flair, his inner Ric Flair that he gives us every time a microphone's in front of his face. But where was I going on this? I forget, but
they lost Florida State, who's 5-7, and they suck.
That is a worse loss than anything Duke has, by the way. Everyone's shitting on Duke. Duke's 5 losses are to teams that all have winning records. I think all of them are like at least 7-5, or I think majority of them are 8 and like Tech's 9-3, Georgia Tech, or 9-3.
Yep.
UConn went 9-3. Who's their other losses? Illinois went 8-4, right? So
Georgia Tech
9-3. Who's their 4th and 5th loss?
Virginia.
Okay, and Virginia's 10-2, right?
Yeah, rematch now. So
Alabama has by far the worst loss of any of the teams in contention for the playoffs. The 5-7 loss to because unless you want to say Texas, because Texas has Florida, but Florida beat Florida State.
Florida and Florida State. What a joke.
Fucking hilarious. I cashed on the Gators. Washington State. Watch out, man. I like this hire. Jimmy Rogers got them playing good the second half of the season. Cashed on the Cougs in Martin Stadium there. And then we had this guy. Oh, my God. Golesh went out with a bang.
Yeah, he ran it up one last time.
Unbelievable. This was I don't even remember the final score. What was it? 52-3. Good God. And shout out to Jonathan Smith for winning on the way out in this stupid dome. Stupid game. Worst game of the season, we deemed it. Glad they re-upped Loxley for another year.
Maryland finishes the 25 campaign on a 8-game losing streak. And they extended him. Like, what is this world? What? The guy that beat him got fired.
Yeah.
He got fired the next day, and they're like, "Nah, we're gonna extend you, Loxley. You're doing a good job."
I see that loss. You're back. Oh yeah.
Maryland's a fucking joke. Honestly, top 1 biggest joke in college football.
They are.
Just like,
they are.
Like, and I saw Loxley's comments after the game too. He's like, "It's not my job to worry about what everybody's saying. We need to do a better job." I was like, "Fuck you, Loxley. You shouldn't even have a job. I'm so sick of your bullshit. I am so sick of Maryland and their fans that came and heckled us in the preseason where we're saying Loxley should be gone. They said, no, Loxley's a good coach. You lost 8 in a fucking row."
What's hilarious is this too. I get people say, give him more time with Malik Washington. Why would Malik Washington come back?
He's gone.
He's gonna leave, right?
Why the fuck would you stay? Go get paid somewhere where Loxley's not.
We'll see if he's back. That's going to be interesting.
You want to play in the NFL? Go somewhere else.
We ate a big pile of shit on this one. Big pile of shit. All of us took Virginia Tech with the points. We're like, hey, they got to prove it to me. Virginia was in fuck you mode, man. They were running it up, man.
Yeah.
27-7. Dude, give it up for the Wahoos. Give it up to the Wahoos.
Big time job. They've lost this game, 22 out of 23 years. They shut us right up. The only guy to beat them was Mendenhall. Shout out to Tony Elliott. They are one game away from the playoff. Now the James Franklin era begins in Blacksburg.
And Jeff, we addressed this at the beginning of the show, the Pat Fitzgerald to Michigan State hire. If you want to go check it out.
7 hours ago.
Yeah, it's a long one here. We also took Charlotte, which ate shit. It was the right side though. It took a while. It took a while to get where it was at. It was 21-0 entering the fourth, and I was like, perfect.
All these motherfuckers that took.
Wait. This hit. This was 31, right? Why did I think the line was 21? I think we hit in this bet actually. Why did I think the line was 21?
It was 31.
Yeah, no, we hit them. My apologies.
But worth noting, all these motherfuckers that took other jobs covered, except for Silverfield.
Yeah,
they all fucking blew the doors off their American opponents on the way out.
That was a great point by someone. I think it was the Marshall podcast or whatever. If all these people like Will Compton and stuff are saying the group of five doesn't deserve a seat at the table, well, why?
Why are they all hiring them?
Why are you hiring all their coaches? And then like I made this point a week ago, like the entire SEC, like if you look at like the top 6 passers in the conference, I think 5 of the 6 are from smaller schools, or at least it was 2 weeks ago when I looked. Maybe like I don't know, maybe some of them. But like Aguilar, I think led the conference in passing. App State, I think Pavia was second or third. Chambliss was second. Pavia third. Taylor Green fourth. And then their top 2 of their top 3 leading rushers were from the group of 5 as well. So anyway, let's get to the Iron Bowl because man. All right, the refs were terrible. I saw Damani talking about this, but SEC refs have been the worst, I think, of any conference this year. But the bigger problem to me was like,
Auburn.
Tell me if I'm wrong here. I tend to think sometimes like we overreact with the rigging of the games, but after the basketball season we had where we nailed 5 of the 6 games or 5 of the 6 teams as on the take, and then the FBI thing came out and we were actually right. There was a stretch where Auburn, I think, fumbled 3 times in like out of 5 plays, right? It's not raining. It was not raining as far as I know there. They fumbled 3 out of 5 plays. All of them went out of bounds. And then a perfect pass right to the receiver, drops, hits off his hands. And that was like their 30th drop of the game. Am I crazy to think that like this shit seemed fucking rigged? I was like, how can the ball be that hard to hold? I don't know that I've ever in the rain. I would understand it more. If it was pouring down rain, I'd be like, okay, that's just the way it is. The amount of drops and fumbles in this game were astonishing. Like
wild.
Auburn almost had a pick 6 dropped. I just thought like, what?
Yeah. I mean,
DeBoer's a maniac for going for that 4th down.
That was stupid as
He's
hell.
A fucking maniac for going for that 4th down. I love this game. The Iron Bowl is exactly what college football it should always be. But man, was that just a? I hated the roughing the quarterback.
Yeah.
On the low when he got like kind of pushed, he was losing his balance. Thought that was a very cheap call. I thought both pass interferences, one for Alabama and one for Auburn, were completely cheap, prolonged the drives, and very, very questionable. But
why did Moore go for it? I don't understand that.
Yeah, that seemed crazy to me. I don't know. I like why? Like they weren't. Auburn's offense wasn't moving the ball that well.
Yeah, and if they did, they would just turn the shit over.
That's what I'm saying. There's like a pandemic of these coaches just going for 4th downs. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it almost cost him the game. And it wasn't like he schemed somebody open. It was a broken play, and give Simpson credit. He found the guy in that little window over the middle. So, like, DeBoer is a lucky fucking man, because if they had lost, like, if that had not worked and then Auburn went to kick the field goal, he'd be on the carousel.
His wife would have been kidnapped.
Yeah. They start making them rumors about her and him, like Harson's wife. And
completely agree with you, Finn Sullivan. Completely agree with you. This guy.
Yeah. Good. Hey, give Bama credit. They're in the playoff. They're not going to miss now.
Now, there is a path that they do miss.
What are they going to penalize them for losing the championship game?
What if BYU wins and you have to put BYU and Texas Tech in?
Then Notre Dame's got to be out. They're not going to penalize Alabama the very next year after they said.
I don't think so either, but I it's an interesting debate because Alabama clearly has the worst loss.
Mm-hmm.
But they said they weren't going to penalize you for making the championship game.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, then BYU should be in, right?
They should be in, but will BYU be ranked above Notre Dame on Tuesday when they release it?
Either way, there's 4 teams getting fucked out of this, right? Maybe even 5.
And we all know who
JMU in there. Yeah.
It's going to be Vanderbilt, BYU. Throw Miami in there.
JMU.
And JMU.
Wait, there's one other one, I think. One other SEC team has to get fucked, right?
I mean, the Texas fans will say it's them, but they don't deserve it. Fuck you guys. Don't lose to Florida.
Yeah, and Notre Dame's in front of Alabama.
No, they're not. They're one behind.
What if they put Ole Miss out just because they're not coached? This is such a shit show.
Is it? I think Notre Dame.
The whole staff is gone. This is such a dumb fucking thing. We got Tulane, North Texas, and Ole Miss. Their whole staff's gone.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
You know they're going to penalize Ole Miss for that at least. Great Iron Bowl again. It was a sloppier game than most. I saw Pat 40 tweeting out that was the worst Iron Bowl he's seen in a while. I still thought it delivered. Northwestern Illinois was fantastic. It was in the snow. Illini got that win. Fun watch. USC UCLA kind of went exactly the way I thought it would go. Pussy Peg. How about your boy Belichick?
Oh, they looked awful. They quit on that game. Worth denoting next year, if I see a team miss a bowl, I'm not taking them the rest of the year because they are the old days of let's fight for a bowl game too are gone, and teams are checked the fuck out waiting for the portal window to open.
Yeah. I disagree with you that they should let coaches finish it out. They should hire after. The problem is the portal. We just narrowed down to one portal, and that starts in 12 days, right? Or 9 days, whatever the fuck it is.
Like less than that. National signing days,
So
weeks.
This is the problem, in my opinion. That needs to be in April. Like college basketball, when the season ends, your portal doesn't open for, I think another couple weeks, right? So the reason why they want Kiffin there right now, he's called the portal king for a fucking reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're going to have to focus on getting guys right now. Even if you let him coach it out, how much is he going to be paying attention to, let's say they're playing Indiana. Well, are you really prepping for Indiana, or are you on the phone trying to get Malik Washington from Maryland to your fucking team? You know what I mean? Or
bring all the players that he has in his locker room.
Yeah, it's just a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. You got to move all that shit back to the spring. Do signing day in the fucking spring or the summer. I don't care. Move all that shit out of the way. All out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, signing day, I guess you can still have your assistants do that, but still, it's crazy.
Lane didn't take long. He already signed that 5-star kid.
Well, it's LSU.
Yeah, I know. It's stupid.
Every kid's a 5-star kid.
I was like, what the fuck? Like I said, this system is so broken. He was just coaching Ole Miss 10 minutes ago. Now he's got a 5-star already at fucking LSU. Yeah,
no, I blame Lane. I would, because the next year, I disagree with you, Go Beefs, because he could get the Florida State job next year. He could get he would still be a hot name on the coaching. He been a hot name for like 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, he has any job, like, okay, he wouldn't have got LSU, but you could get another great job. Texas might open. If Sark loses next year, or if he goes to the NFL, like many have been speculating that he put out waivers for the NFL, then Texas, I could see Texas being in love with Kiffin. So anyway, Chapel Bill next year, you in?
Yeah, I'll buy the year after the year. I need to see who he brings in though.
And NC State announced Doran's coming back next year, by the way.
There you go.
7-win season. That my best call of the weekend. My boy, Nick Rolovich, on the money line. I think we both called for this. Red Detective took these Mustangs, didn't he?
I know.
Yeah. Go Beavs. LSU's a better job than Texas? I think you're insane for saying that.
No, yeah, it's not a better job. LSU's still easily a top 10 job.
But there's a lot of drama though. Like it's like you're seeing it right now with LSU. Before even getting Lane Kiffin, there's a lot of drama within that. Like I still think it's a great job because you're the only Power 5 in that state. They care about football passionately. I don't believe it's as good as a job as it was 10 years ago. If that makes sense. And I think Texas is a job that it's like, I mean, are you kidding me? Texas, like your talent.
And
Texas
the money.
Yeah, well, everything, the city, like everything. Yeah, Cal, Nick Rolovich, make him your fucking head coach. Don't overthink this one. Don't overthink this one.
They're too stupid.
They're gonna lose. I think your best chance of keeping JKS, the quarterback that balled out against SMU, by the way, and balled out all year as a freshman, your best chance of keeping him is Nick Rolovich. Rolovich.
He's gonna be at LSU next year.
He might be. He might be.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're a quarterback, why would you not go play for Lane? It's a quarterback-friendly system.
Well, you know, he was supposed to go to Oregon, and I think Rolovich, because of his Hawaii ties, is the reason why he got him to go to Cal. So I actually think if they were to keep Rolovich, I think he would stay. I think he would probably stay.
Riverboat Ron's calling the shots.
Just saying. Yeah.
Shout out to Cal, SMU. Tough way to end.
Cal, if you look at their season, they were like close to being 9-3. Like that pick 6 in the UVA game, and then the overtime loss at Virginia Tech. That team was very close to crashing the playoffs. Ridiculous. Shout out to Rolovich. Good to see you back on the sidelines. This game we were way off on.
No Jeff Choate magic. Fucking UNLV. They're back in the championship.
And they're going to make the playoffs. Say it now.
I'm just not acknowledging that scenario. I'm done. I'm signing off. I'm signing off with the thought of that.
Yeah. And how about you? Speaking of signing off, San Jose State. Good God. That was my worst pick in years.
What a joke. 3-9 with that schedule. They lost to Central Michigan on opening night. Game 1 of Drinkle.
That was the time. I mean, that was enough right there.
Totally hand us a shotgun.
This game, late night.
This game sucked.
I watched very little of this. Shout out to Notre Dame. And then this one, we cashed. It was a hard ticket. All right, game balls, and then basketball coming up in about 20 minutes.
Game ball number 1 is going to be Ole Miss. With all the shit craziness going on, they came out and punched Mississippi State in the mouth. Should be in the playoff. That whole program gets a game ball.
Yeah, I'm going to Nick Rolovich, man. You got fired for some bullshit. You got fired for some fucking bullshit. You waited it out, man. You waited it out. You got your moment, but I know Justin Wilcox, I think, is a friend of his, so I'm sure, it was a tough spot to be thrown. But at the same time, you seize the day, brother, and you should be back on the sidelines coaching. And I liked his presser after the game too. So game ball, Cal, Golden Bears. Where are you going next?
I will go with the Buckeyes and Ryan Day. They've had to hear about Michigan for 5 long years here, and they finally got to flex a little bit. And you could tell how much it was much of a relief that was yesterday.
That probably should have been game ball number 1, actually, in hindsight. But yeah, 100%. 100%. I'll go with Diego Pavia. You said you're the best team in Tennessee, and by God, you proved it. As you went into Neyland Stadium with GBO Farms watching and all. And GBO, we love you, brother. But this episode, I saw you in the chat, but I think you left because you smelled like too much piss. All right, you smelled like too much piss after Pavia just went off second half. Where's your next game ball?
Virginia. They get it done. They beat Tech finally, second time in like the 21st century, and they are on to Charlotte to play for a spot in the playoff. Hilarious.
Amen. Shout out to Sammy in the chat giving us $20. Appreciate the grind, guys. Best sports channel on the interwebs. Thank you, man. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Final game ball. Where should we go? Part of me wants to go. I should go with Duke, but I'm not. I'll go with that's it right there. UAB. UAB with a bunch of players that weren't even on the roster, basically. They had like the team manager playing fucking tight end. They go all the way to Oklahoma in that weird fucking road spot. And you beat Tulsa. 30 guys sat out. Unbelievable. Yeah, the real game ball should be Yale from the FCS, by the way. With the one that was the best game this whole weekend. You didn't catch the FCS playoffs. Yale at Youngstown State was fire. All right, folks. Well, we got the basketball show going in 24 minutes. So jump on over there. All right. Moneyline Max on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The College Football Experience on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Hit that like and subscribe button. See you in a bit. Can't wait to talk hoops. We got a great Tuesday hoops lineup, but tomorrow's all right. Wow. Shit. Eric in the chat. Giving us $100. UNLV playoff path. UNLV beats Boise. Duke beats Virginia. And Troy beats JMU. It's happening. Go Rebs. Eric, if that happens, bro. If that happens, brother. All right. I will send you. I'm going to send you like one of every shirt that we got. Right. In the store, which is a shit ton. Right. One of it, like, well, we got to talk something. How about this, Eric? You live in Vegas, I assume, or are you just a UNLV fan?
Put a parlay together.
I was about to say, if you live in Vegas, we come out every year, multiple times throughout the year. Not only will we invite you to a party where you could come kick it with us and we'll pay for all your drinks. We will also have you on the show. And then I'll get you a bunch of gear. If this all hits, just hit me up on Twitter at the Colby D, because we will do that. Thank you for the generation or the generous donation. We're very grateful. Basketball show coming up soon, man. Yeah, great buzzer beater by Eric hopping in here. Really appreciate you, brother. Till next time, folks. Which is in 22 minutes. And Youngstown State fan John says, "Fuck those Ivy League bastards." We can leave out on that note. Till next time, fuck those Ivy League bastards. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot.